How you doing, dude? Are you alright, Scotty? Just drinking my lemon and honey. How you doing this morning, Scotty?
Get the fuck out of here.
Hey, Winston. I am good, lads. Hit a wing. Good morning. So yeah, everyone seems to be getting caught up with this live experiment, this final experiment nonsense.
Hey Kevin, come on.
It's quite interesting, right?
Okay.
It's quite interesting, you know. This pastor, he must be like a millionaire if he's going to pay out. Was it 35k a head? Right, and he said he'd take an extra flat earther as well. That's another 35k. He used to be an investor or something, turned pastor, so he's got to have the cash to do it. But you know, my question is like Dave McKeegan has been chosen to go, and you know who would want to spend the week with Dave McKeegan or 5 days? That'd be the worst trip ever. It'd just be horrific, wouldn't it? Waking up to Dave McKeegan every morning. So, yeah, I don't trust it. I don't trust Dave McKeegan. I'm not too sure about this pastor dude. But you know, when you've got, hey, what's up, Chills? What's up? When you've got flat earthers giving credence to the experiment, saying, you know, if they do find it, if there's a problem, well, that's you're projecting your own fears onto everybody else, because not a lot of people believe your model. You lot might believe it. Not everyone believes it. So, you know, you've committed to a model now, and now they've trapped you in a corner that you can't get out of. So you've completely just kind of shot yourself in the foot. Now, if you listen to me from the beginning, lots of umming and ahhing, Dave. Yeah. It's pathetic, really. It really is kind of ridiculous. All these so-called flat earthers going, oh, if they do find a 24-hour sun, we're in trouble. No, we're not. That's just because of your model is dictating your view. That's what it is. You're enclosed. You're in on an enclosed pizza dish with a dome on top. There's nowhere for you to go. Now, we've been saying that it's a huge plain with just more water and more land. Beyond Antarctica, even Antarctica could actually be a continent on the flat plain. It could. Once you get beyond it, it's just more water and more land. Now, is that finite beyond there? I don't know. I can't tell you that. I've never seen a dome. I've never seen this physical dome over me ever in my life, ever. No one's ever seen it. So, but for some people, you know, it definitely exists, which is a problem. It's a problem. And now that you've got these so-called flat earthers, cross scientists, cross bloody let's go to Antarctica to observe the 24-hour sun to prove that it's a sphere is nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. You're not going to prove anything. The only thing you're proving is that there's a light source at Antarctica. That's the only thing you're proving. Because we already know it's on a plane. It's already on a plane. It doesn't matter if they find a light source down there because we've already debunked the globe with water. Do you understand? We keep going around in circles. It's like this has been done on purpose. It doesn't matter if they find a light source there. It just means it's on a plane and there's a light source at Antarctica. It doesn't matter. We've already debunked the globe. Water doesn't allow a spherical globe, planetoid. It doesn't allow it. Very, very simple. But we've got these so-called flat earthers giving this experiment credit. saying, "Oh yeah, if they do find it, we're in big trouble." No, we're not. You're in big trouble because you committed to a stupid model that we told you not to commit to back in the daytime. Way back in the day, we told you don't commit to this model. And a lot of you did. A lot of you committed to it. You went, oh, "This is it, definitely. This is it. Pizza dishes, outer space, domes. This is where we live." Not seeing that it's exactly the same as being on the globe. It's exactly the same thing. We do not live on a planetoid. We do not live on some sort of disc. It's ridiculous. This place is a realm. It's been created for us. And to us to figure out this realm, you have to think like a bloody god or an alien or something, right? Because as human beings, you're never, ever going to figure it out. Ever. You run around like headless chickens as much as you want, say spewing out nonsense, but it's not going to get you anywhere. It really isn't. And, you know, as I said, it doesn't matter what they find down there because we've already debunked the globe with water. They want us looking up for some reason. Why do you want us looking up when we should be taking a measurement of the ground? Right? Absolute ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. We want a direct measurement of the ground. We don't want to be looking at a 24-hour sun. A 24-hour sun doesn't prove anything. It really does not. As I said, we debunked the globe 10 years ago with water. Why do we need to start looking up? Because what are we entertaining the next generation of globy retards? Is that what this is? The next generation of globetards that come in, we've got to give them explanations and all this. It's like you're living in a bloody flat earth Groundhog Day. It really is. It's like a flat earth Groundhog Day where the same shit gets repeated over and over again every few years because of the next lot that come in. This is getting ridiculous. We've already put this to bed. We've already put this to bed. It's hello, world of that curve. How you doing, dude? Yeah, exactly. Screw the direct measurements. Let's go to entire. Yeah, screw the actual measuring of the ground. Let's just go and look at a light in the sky. It's nonsense. It's nonsense. Just get a 10-mile lake, yeah, on a calm day where there's no wind. Right, build a structure or something across it. That'll tell you. Or do the fishing line experiment. This guy's trying to do. He's inventing a new like braid of line that can withhold the tensile strength once it's been stretched. But he wants to do it underwater, and I'm like, maybe it'd be better to invent a tensile strip which can be done over the water, because it's only got to be like 3 inches, hasn't it? If it's the same in the middle, 3 inches, as it is at the two ends, well, that's telling you, because there's meant to be over a couple of miles. Was it 10 feet or something? I don't know, 10 foot or something curvature. So yeah, you can do it a lot easier, a lot cheaper. It's already been done. The globe's already been debunked, for one. It's already been debunked. We did this years ago. And all the old school flat earthers know this. You know this. You sound like you want flat earthers to grab some common sense. Yes, it would be nice. It would be very nice to see, some flat earthers just, get their cobbles together, right? Get their brain cells together, because you're acting like imbeciles. Why would you think for 1 second that observing a light in Antarctica means the Earth is a sphere? You're an imbecile. If you think that means you're still grabbing on to the heliocentric model. That means you've still got one hand on that model, if you believe that. Because we know it's nonsense. The heliocentric model is absolute tosh. Get it out of your mind. The true physics of this place is water. And you guys need to understand this. It's tangible. It's telling you where you are. You don't need to be looking at 24-hour suns. You don't need all this mathematics and theories. You've got the answer right in front of you. It's always been there. That's the really strange, that's the really funny thing, actually, is it's always been there in front of you, and you haven't looked at it. Right, so who we got here today? Come in early. Hey Dorian, Little Wing, Forever Love, Winston, Scotty, World Without Curve, Honor, Happy. They got Chills in, and Nemo. Is that Nemo in there? Yeah, Nemo's come in. Thank you, Nemo. Dorian, Honor, Heart Earth. Much appreciated, guys. There's Shalow's come in. So, am I going insane in my old age, or do you think what I'm saying is right? Because, as I said, a lot of these guys have committed to the dome pizza dish. That's their model. And once you've committed to that, you're open then to attack. And that's what they're doing. That's what, some of these, I know I call them globetards, but some of them have got a bit of savvy about them, right? And they know how to, like, be a bit slick sometimes. Like Craig was slick with Witsit. Exactly the same way when he trapped him into giving that answer. And he trapped him. It was a trap. And now he's trapped. Now, if they do find a light source there, and then now Witsit's got to go, yeah, old man's up, it's a sphere. They found a light source. It's a sphere, guys. Come on.
Yo, higher than an F-16 in Walgreens. Trying to find some eye drops at the bottom of the Listerine. Well, I'm Mr. Clean when I step on the scene. But yo, how did I get here? And what does this all mean? The last thing I remember was way back in September. Johnny had a doobie.
Hey, Martin. How you doing, dude? Good morning, Tony. How you doing? Mathematics and theory tales. Yeah, exactly. Nothing tangible, Tone. Nothing, nothing they can take a direct measurement off. I mean, we've got the ground we walk upon. I mean, you could easily take a direct measurement of that, or just the water that lays within the ground. That's going to tell you everything. But no, they want us to go to Antarctica and look at lights up in the sky. And that's going to prove a sphere. What a bunch of morons. I'm sorry, this is getting ridiculous.
But Kevin, you're not married. Oh shit, it's getting scary. I'm mixing up my history. My memories are buried. And I don't have a clue what's
Flat infinite plane Earth. It does kind of say everything about you. It does. See, the thing is, world, we was telling them years ago, don't commit to this model. This model is not. This model's a psyop. That was the domed one, yeah, with the yourself. But a lot of them didn't listen. They didn't listen, and this is the problem we've got now. Now you've committed to that model. You've been preaching that model for the last 5, 6, 7 years. What are you going to do now? What, you actually going to admit that they find a light source in Antarctica, a 24-hour light source? You're actually going to admit it's a sphere, are you? After everything you know about the physical properties of water, the way they've hijacked your perspective, you see way too far. You're still going to say that it's a sphere just because of a light in the sky. You need your head examined. Water doesn't allow it. It doesn't matter how many lights you find up in the sky. Water doesn't allow it to be a spherical planetoid. It's ridiculous. With water attached to it while it's spinning. You can find 10 lights down there doing all sorts of acrobatics in the sky. It's still flat, right? It's still a level plane with water in the low bits and mountains on top of the plane, right? Very simple, not hard to understand. All the physics work out perfectly. You can predict with it. It's just on us. It's on more local, smaller. It's the sun and the moon are local and they're smaller, but you can still predict the same things because it's nearer. You're going to get the same mathematics. It doesn't matter. as I say, they've just hijacked your perspective, told you there's curvature, there's none. You know, we know water cannot bend in any way. The surface cannot stay concave or convex. It can't support itself. How does this stuff stick to a ball while it's spinning in a vacuum? And we know water boils in a vacuum as well. I mean, you know all this, and you're still going to go, it's a sphere because we see a light in the sky. Come on, come on. Stop falling for the nonsense, guys.
I need a coffee and coffee in the joint, coffee in the joint, what? Coffee in the joint, coffee in the
Yes, it was a setup, yeah, for sure. 100% setup.
So I was standing in the corner of the kitchen by myself, eyeing up the pot brownies on the top shelf. I'm thinking maybe just a nip.
Hey, Laura, welcome.
I didn't eat dinner, so I gobbled down too.
Drinking my my lemon drink.
I fucking blew.
Beautiful.
Yo, I got to keep this conversation fluid. Yo, too high to function. I'm feeling like a clown at a funeral luncheon. I'm a gone.
Don't summon the FB, and I or you will get trumps. The FB, was that what? Facebook, Shlo?
But I could be the hero that this
How you doing, Shlo? Anyway, you good?
and rally.
Hey, Logical, welcome.
Turns out it was my team's cup. Fuck. I got this feeling inside. Can't find no balance in my mind. I must be missing a point. I need a coffee and a joint. I got this feeling inside. Can't find no balance in my mind. I must be missing a point. I need a coffee and a joint. Coffee and
Oh, the FBI. Get the FBI.
a joint. All right.
The FBI.
Coffee in the joint, yo, what? Coffee in the joint,
The feds, as we call them, the feds over here, Shlo. The feds.
coffee in the joint, coffee in the joint, yeah. Coffee in the joint, coffee in the joint, coffee in the joint, yo, that's right.
Yeah. Geometry shows you the positions of the sun and the moon anyway. It's calculation to tell you exactly how far away they are as well.
Okay. Let's take them out.
Just gonna make another drink, guys. Back in a sec.
Man, I'm terrible at smoking weed. That's okay. I'll handle it. Thanks, yo. Sugar Shack gonna take us like way far. It's like S to the UGAR. Sugar Shack gonna take us like way far. I'm puffing green clouds, no worries unwind. And I sip my coffee, black gold sunshines. Ain't containing my vibe, no gates on my sky. Take it easy, take flight, we just ride. Through steam, dreaming free in the days, clean cheese. Living life out loud, not in silent discreet. To the wake, to the vague, got my mind in time. In my zone, all alone, I define my grind. Cloudy room where the beats just flow. Rhyme and brew in my cup, it's a show. No bars around, but the spirits they climb. In my peace, in my space, it's sublime. You put a joint in one hand, coffee in the other. No gates, just open roads to discover. Loosen up, breathe in, feel that grind. Up here soaring, I'm one of a kind. Unwind, it's really alright. It's a view to myself. The whole West City with just cheap. Eyes low, feeling slow like molasses unwind.
Hey, good morning, Jax. Good morning, Jason. Good morning, Chris. How you guys doing? Hey, Rune. How you doing? Good morning to you. How you doing, Rune? Are you shiny happy people this morning? Are you shiny happy people this morning? I don't know about shiny, but I'm happy. The final experiment is a BS term. Absolutely, Rune. Yeah, it's. I can't believe, so-called intelligent flat earthers. That thing. Are giving this any kind of credit. It's kind of baffling to me, really, unless it's all been set up. Well, we know it has because, bringing in that PSYOP model right at the beginning, and we told people not to believe it. But they went and believed it. They committed themselves to a model, and now they're banged up they're in a corner now with nowhere to go. Kind of embarrassing watching these flat earthers do this. When, you should have just been honest from the start, said you don't know, and it could be basically anything. Dictated by the physical properties of water, obviously, and we're in some kind of realm. We're not on a planetoid or some sort of disc. It's a realm that's been created for us. Now, it's pretty simple to understand, right? And it's on a flat plane. Now, how far that plane goes on, nobody actually knows. Nobody knows. And how do you have more extra land out there? How do you have extra land out there if there's a dome over the top of our land? Think about it. How do you get more? How do you get to the lands out there, the outer lands? And they definitely exist. So we're on a plane. No one's ever seen the dome or this structure. No one's ever seen it, so we don't know even know if it exists. Can you have pressure and that naturally somehow without a container? You don't know. There's a bunch of physics in this realm we don't understand. Right? Bunch of stuff we don't understand in this realm. So, there's a lot of questions that need to be answered. And, saying that by finding a light source in Antarctica means the Earth's a sphere is one of the most retarded things I've ever heard in my life. And especially being legitimised by a flat earther. It's ridiculous. Really ridiculous. It's garbage. We debunked the globe using water in 2015, 16. Why do you want us looking up at the sky again? We've already destroyed you with water and wanting a physical measurement of the ground that we stand upon, not looking up at the sky. We've all these stupid little traps and language and theories and maths. We've got tangibles. We've got water. You don't want to go nowhere near it, you globies. You want us to look up at the sky. You don't want to talk about the physical properties of water, though, do you? Morons. it's playing. This wouldn't play yesterday. I mean, the last stream.
When you're alone and life is making you lonely, you can always go
Downtown.
When you've got worries, all the noise and the hurry seems to help, I know. Downtown, just listen to the music of the traffic in the city. Linger on the sidewalk where the
They had conflicting land claims after signing the treaty. Did they, Jason? I didn't know that, Jason. Extraterrestrial, yeah. It's to me, it's quite obvious, blatantly obvious that there's more lands. And how do you? This is what I'm talking about. How do you get more lands with a physical dome over you? It's not allowing you to go anywhere. It's finite. All we know and observe are the land masses that we know. Yeah, the Americas, Europe, Australia, South America, Russia. That's it. China. Yeah. So you're telling me there's no lands beyond those lands? Come on.
get all your cares, so go downtown. Things will be great.
Gate spanner. Hmm.
No final place for sure. Downtown, everything's waiting for you.
Bendy mirror. Bendy mirrors.
Problems surround you, there are movie shows. Downtown, maybe you know.
It's like when we took out the concavers, right? The concavers come into the flat earth. Lord Stephen Christ. Who remembers Lord Stephen Christ? A few of you in the chat will remember him because you was at the old chats. But he was coming in with like concave stuff, like really deep going into it. And we just said, water doesn't allow it to be concaved or convexed. Simple as that. And, you know, it would show in the horizon if it was concaved, right? It'd be a really strange horizon you'll be looking at. Anyway, as I say, yeah, we've already destroyed all these arguments, and for some reason you get idiots bringing them all up again.
Some little places to go to where they never close.
Downtown.
Just listen to the rhythm of a gentle bossa nova. You'll be dancing with them too before the night is over.
The dome Earth is another scarcity model. It's just another model to me.
Get all your troubles.
The real model is we don't know. It's the real model. The real model is we don't actually know. There is no model. That's the real model. It's formless. That's the real model. We don't know. Until someone goes there, finds this physical dome, takes a picture of it, shows everybody, well then you can't expect me and people like me to believe that there's a physical dome there when no one's actually ever experienced it. For me, you know, as I said earlier, Antarctica could actually be a continent on the flat plane. Could actually be a continent. It might not wrap around us. You know, and even if there is ice around us, it doesn't mean that's the end and there's a dome over that. To me, it just means there's ice on top of water and there's more water beyond that with more land. Right, that's the thing that I'm picking up. But again, that's a speculation and assumption in itself, because that's just me thinking out loud. The real, as I keep saying, the real truth is nobody knows. No one actually knows. Yo, Squirrel, what's up? You in there? Yeah.
You're gonna be alright
I like the ice around me and the nice around me. Yeah, we all like nice around us, Scotty. We all like nice around the ice. Maybe not.
And you may find somebody kind to help and understand you. Someone who is just like you and needs a gentle hand.
Can't connect my phone to the same place as We are gonna bounce out and try bring the cam in through the iPad. All right, Laura. Laura's having some problems with the connection. It's economics banner. Scarcity versus abundance. Scarcity equals price value control. Yeah, absolutely, Rune. No, I agree with you there. Yeah. Scarcity, yeah. Oh my lord. That's what I mean. We've had some proper, real, insane people come through this. Yeah, the blood over intent. What was the guy's name? The blood over intent guy. What was his name? Oh, I forgot his name, man. But he was, yeah, blood over intent. You had that guy, really weird. Then you had people drinking their own piss. I mean, what? I don't know what that was about either. You're saying you're sounding sound bad. Yeah, cheers, guys. Yeah, I do feel I've got, as I say, I've got blood test tomorrow, and then I've got the next session on next Tuesday. So after the weekend, so it's going to be not a great week next week, but I've got to do it. Got to get through it. They're very strange. I'm in two different places in the same stream. What? Laura's got a portal out there somewhere. I can't. Anybody? How you doing, Chills? Hope you're good, dude. Lev? I think you come in earlier, Lev. Quasi. Oh yeah, Quasi. Yeah, Quasi. Quasi Luminous. That's it. What a lunatic that dude was, man. Quasi was insane. Talking about going, what was it, to the North Pole or something? Oh, I don't know. But yeah, you had the piss drinkers, the intent. Oh, cheers, Jax. Yeah, I do. I feel pretty good. Satanic distractors are members of the sex club of death. Slow. So yeah, as I say, we've had a lot of weirdos. Tiger Dan, I'm not saying he's a weirdo, but I remember Tiger Dan, one of the first. Was Luminous, or really dark. Yeah. Yeah, there's been some weirdos, man. I've got to redo this Vaporino. It was all about Nibiru and Ascension and Fifth World a few years back. Yeah. It's kind of... It's a bit of a weird place. It was a weird place a few years ago. Yeah, but Poncho was the biggest weirdo. There was bigger weirdos than Poncho. Come on, man. Timothy P. Southwick, thank you very much. That's a lovely message, dude. Thanks for listening in, Timothy. I'm gonna make you a wrench because I like stuff like that. Cheers. Let's respect the other wrenches, Timothy. Oh, dang it. Respect the other wrenches and where'd you go? There you are. Respect the other wrenches and kick out any mods. They're the only rules, really. Yeah, pick at trolls, not the mods.
Change your heart.
Not a dome, thick water. There's people that say that. We got Chillster in the chat, Laura, that thinks it's some sort of super fluid
Change your heart.
that's keeping it all in.
It will astound you.
So people do have different opinions on this, right? This is what I'm saying. That's why Witsit was wrong in saying that most flat earthers believe his model when that isn't true. That isn't true, Witsit.
Like the sunshine. And everybody's gotta learn sometime.
Everybody's gotta learn sometime. Even Globers. Even Globers have got to learn sometimes, right? It's like invisible water, but it is up there, yeah. Yeah, H3O3.
Change your heart. Look around you. Change your heart. It will astound you. And me.
Yeah. We've seen that footage. Chills. I've played it here before, Chills. Right, when the things seem to be hitting something that ain't there. It looks invisible, and then you start seeing these ripples. Yeah, we've seen the vids, man. It's very interesting.
Like the sunshine.
Everybody's gotta love sometime.
Everybody's gotta learn sometime.
Increased in viscosity, yeah. It's like a thicker. But we do have this kind of the same stuff at the bottom of the ocean, don't we? Like super saline, super salty, and it looks like an ocean or a lake or a pond at the bottom of the ocean, and it's hard to penetrate because the pressure is high. It's got a bit more viscosity to the actual water, so the pressure of the water pushing down on it, and it's slightly more denser. It makes it look like there's a pond or something at the bottom of the bloody ocean. It looks very strange. Things bounce off the top of it as well. It's really hard to penetrate and go through it. So there are substances like this that do actually exist. So, it's not a big thing to say, well, maybe it's something like that that's keeping it all in. Not a big jump, is it? Hey, you're welcome back anytime, Timothy. Home at the ice wall, I don't think so. Yeah, that's what if there is a dome, that's a big if. If there is a dome, it's not just over the land masses that we know about. It's over all of them, which is enormous. And you're never ever going to see the dome. You're never going to get to the edge of it. You're never going to touch it or anything like that because it's covering the whole thing, which is not just what we reside in, the continents that we know. It's the whole thing. But that's an if, and that then becomes finite. That then becomes in outer space. You understand what I'm saying? So, yes, as I say, the best stance to take is you don't know. That's the best stance, and then that's honesty. That's honesty at its purest. I don't know what it is. I can speculate. I can assume what it is by these things that we have here already in this realm, we can test and experiment on these things, and we can get results. But that's about it. You know, you're not going to get a finite model. You're never ever going to get that. So as I say, to actually commit to a model that you don't fully know about and you haven't fully investigated is a stupid thing to be doing. Because now you've got this 24-hour experiment, they've backed you into a corner, and now you're putting your hands up going, well, if they do find a 24-hour sun, we're in trouble. No, you're in trouble. You're in trouble, not us. We didn't fall for the trick. We didn't fall for the psyop back in the day. A lot of people did.
Everybody's gotta learn sometime. Everybody's gotta learn sometime.
Catch up. Laura, catch up. 30 minutes behind. Damn. Hey, Sea Lightning 300, how you doing? Everybody's gotta learn sometime. Everybody's gotta learn. No, you're not. You're not retarded. In fact, that's what I found out about the ladies in Flat Earth. Are, the ones that I've come across and spoken to are all highly intelligent. Very, very intelligent, articulate, you know the stuff as well. Not like half of the blokes are just dumb ass retarded. like me. The cottage is rocking today. Banner's at it. Admiral Byrd's diaries are fascinating. Yes, they are seeking. They are smooth talking. You've got to be a smooth talker, Chills. You've got to have that in your arsenal, mate. You've got to have it there. Inhale, exhale, smile. The Pacific Ocean is odd to me, huge. To me, it's huge. Yeah. I mean, there could actually be a landmass. There could be actually a landmass within our landmasses that we don't know about. That is actually possible. It's actually possible. They could be hiding a landmass out because there's a part of the sea. If you look at it, especially on like this, on a flat map. If you look at it, there's a part of the sea that's just empty. It's massive, empty part of the ocean. They could easily be hiding something there. Easy. And just not tell anyone about it. No planes go down there. Hey, Powers, welcome. That's why I think the moon maps are cool. The moon map's a strange one for me because it does look like continents, doesn't it? It does look like a reflection of the continents. But do they line up to what we know, the shape of the continents, or are we just lying about the shape of the continents because the moon's reflecting the true shape of the continents? Is it reflecting? This is what I'm saying, though. You know what I mean? To me, the moon it's a strange thing, man. The moon is so odd. An odd thing. You know, you look through it like a telescope or binoculars at night, it looks solid. It looks like there's craters and stuff. You see it in the daytime, it looks translucent, like you can see through it. And, the Terminator line never adds up to where the sun is. And these daytime moons, it's a peculiar thing. Now, is it reflecting the land masses? That's the question. Some people say, yeah, it is. No, that's up to you. But personally, I'm not too sure about that. Hey, Dr. E, welcome. Corn on the cob. I like a bit of corn on the cob, Laura. Bit of corn on the cob, a little bit of butter on top, tiny bit of salt, tiny bit of pepper. Lovely. It heated up, beautiful. I get my own corn from Mexico. There's a major conjunction in the sky today. What's that, Jax? Sun moon always lights up right for me. Everything's lined up. Oh, is it? No way can moon reflect the shape of the continent. See, it's two opposing. That's what I like about this chat, you know. That's what I like. That's what I like about flat Earth in general. Really, it's like we're all kind of in the same book, but we're all on different pages, right? And we can learn from each other, right? This is what I mean. You can learn. This is why I will not dismiss Dell's experiment. Never. It's showing you something. It's telling you something. I know a lot of flat earthers are dismissing it, but I won't. I won't, because it's a practical demonstration. Something's happening there. And it needs to be discussed. And we haven't got to the bottom of it yet. That's the thing. So yeah, as I say, that's what I like. We can all learn from each other. You know, you can take a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You know, stuff that resonates with you. The truth resonates. The lies just go over your head. They won't touch you. The truth, though, you hear the truth, the hairs on your arms will stick up, and you get a weird feeling. That's the deep truths, right? The deep truths. But yeah, as I say, two opposing positions in the chat there. One people believe that the moon's reflecting the continents. Other people believe it isn't. No way is it doing that. So that's the good thing, right? I like that. Powers is on board. Powers is on board with the moon map. There are a lot of people digging that moon map, you know. You learn something new every day. Yeah. Try and learn something new every day. You know, you actually go out your way to learn something new every day. And that's a good thing. Oh no, I'm not on board. No, sorry, Powers. Sorry, Powers. Powers isn't on board with the moon map. Uh, 300,000 US troops just went overseas. Damn. What's that? They're starting World War III. I told you. Have they sacrificed the heifers? Have they done that? Because if they've done that, it's definitely going to happen. Let me tell you that. Look, I did that stream, didn't I? Was it a month ago or something? I'll be about to witness World War III. I'll be about to... who wrote the letter? Name. But yeah, I did mention this because I think it's about to happen. You know, 100%. It's going to happen. It's bugging me now. Who wrote the letter to the bloody king predicting all the world wars? It's bugging me. I'm trying to remember it. I just can't. Because I've just vaped. I've just puffed on this vape, and it destroys my memory. What was his name, guys? Please tell me. He's doing me headed. No, not not Nostradamus. You know what I'm talking about. He predicted the First World War. He predicted the Second World War. And he said there was going to be a Third World War in Albert Pike. Albert Pike letter, yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, cheers, Chills. I remember the same time as you said it, Chills. World Without Curve. Cheers, thanks. Yeah, the Albert Pike letter. So if he's predicted the first two, why isn't the third one going to come true, right? If he's predicted World War One, remember this was written in 1888 or 87, 1888 or 87, or could have been 89. One of those, but it was before the World War One and before World War Two, and he predicted those correct. The third war was against the Arab nations, right? Islam and all that, and that's what's happening now. It's building up to that. And they sent over five red heifers, didn't they, to be sacrificed on an order. As soon as they do that, it's all go. 1781, was it? I'm sure it's 18. No, it's 1881, right? 1880 something. World. Oh, it could be 1781. I thought it was 1881. So, well, it doesn't matter, you know. It's just the date of it. What matters is that he predicted them before they actually happened. So, as I say, if he's done the first two, the third one's definitely going to come true, 100%.
Trumpets, towers, and tenements, wide oceans full of tears, flags, rags, ferry boats, scimitars.
Oh, it's 18. Oh, it's 1871. He sent that, which is incredible, right? When was the First World War? Was it 1911? Was it 1914 or something? So it's 20, 30 years before that. 40 years, 50 years before the Second World War. Looking over 100 years. Over 100 years for the Third World War. How do you do that? Without having some sort of inside knowledge. Come on. Wasn't he a 33-degree Mason or above 33-degree Mason? Not a prediction, a plan. Yeah. That's a good way, actually, Laura. That's actually a great way of putting it. It's not a prediction. He just put the plan in action, right? It was just, this is what's going to happen. Follow these words. Follow these orders. Orders! Yes, and they're carrying out what he says. Yeah, it looks like that way. It does look like that, Chill. It really does look like that. The moon is not said to be a reflection of the Earth. It's said to be a snapshot photo in time of Earth taken a long time. Oh, that's interesting, Tony, as well. A snapshot in time. Snapshot in time. I'm sure someone told me that there's levels above 33 degrees in masonry. There's secret levels. Is that correct? Can someone tell me if that's legit or not? All news, world events. Planned 50 years in advance, maybe even more. Wow, that's scary to think about. I just saw a video about a German FE map, kind of near as Earth, looking at the moon. Everything is planned, Dorian says. D-Day, 6 a.m. on the 6th of June. 666. It always pops his head up, doesn't it, Tone? 666. I see one the other day. I see one the other day. In fact, next time Brendan's down, I'm going to show him. It. The old post office. We used to have an old post office here, right? And in front of the post office, right, there's 18 pyramids, concrete little pyramids, 18 of them, and they're in rows of 6. I'm not shitting that. I'll swear. I'm gonna show Brendan, because I was just like, look at it. I was just like, no way is there 18 there. This can't be 18 pyramids outside this. It can't be. And I can't. There was 6, 6, and 6. I could not believe it. I was like, okay. Fake our history, feed your mind with bullshit. It's actually what they do. Been their MO for a long time for that. 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, and 6 of what other. Yeah, I know. It's the point though, isn't it, Laura? 666 again. Pops up everywhere, right? What were you going? 66.6 thousand miles around the sun, are we? The angle tilt is 66.6. I mean, you just couldn't make this up, could you? Even in when you see over long distances, it's all 666. Go and check out the 8 inches per mile squared official numbers, and you'll see down there lots of 666s. It's all satanic. The whole system is. Yeah, this is the Mighty Ming brothers. Yeah, this one's. What was the one that you popped in there the other day? The hip hop one, Chills. That I couldn't show it. I had to trim it out of that stream. Because it was banned. It was banned in every country, which then means the stream gets banned in every country. So check where these tunes are banned, guys. Because if they're just banned in Russia, that's okay. If they've got like 50, like 100 countries there next to the name, don't bother posting it in the chat, because it will just get the stream cancelled. Then I've got to go back and trim it all out and all that, and it's nonsense. The old naval and trade route maps are probably pretty accurate, but they stay in the centre. First Apple computer, yeah. It makes sense though, doesn't it, Joe? Computer's called Apple. Didn't the Apple have a bite out of it? It wasn't a full apple, was it? Did it have a bite out of that apple? The symbol? I'm sure it did. I can't remember correctly, but it wouldn't surprise me if there was. Especially being 666 as well. It does have a bite out of the apple. Yeah, I'm sure it does, doesn't it? Apple symbol for Apple computers. There is an alien head when you turn it a certain way. Hello, Marie. How you doing? Welcome. Yo, I'm there. How you doing? Great to see you, dude. What was that? My mum's copay for her back brace was $333. I told the lady Illuminati confirmed. She said, "What? You're Illuminati? Did you say?" You tell her she was Illuminati confirmed, Laura. That's hilarious. And she said, "What? What are you talking about?" Illuminati confirmed. Brilliant. Hey, OP. OPZ's in the house. Remembrance Day, 11 a.m. on the 11th day of the 11th month, 11/11/11/33. Mason, yeah. It's everywhere, Tone, isn't it? It's literally everywhere. You just got to be able to decode it. Once you can decode it and you see it, you see the symbolism, and you start to see it everywhere. But that's what I mean. It's got the same kind of effect as the Mandela effect symbolism. Because before you didn't know the symbols, they didn't affect you. You didn't know about the symbols, did you? You didn't. You wasn't really looking into them. You didn't. You know. Only once you knew what you was looking for, then you started seeing the symbols everywhere. It's the same thing with the Mandela effect. People didn't know the Mandela, weren't getting Mandela effect until you actually knew what it was and you realised it was online, and then you started thinking, hang on, I remember it like that as well. 100% stuffing all future jalapenos with provolone. What's that? What? Are we talking about food or? Look up Duffy's patent docs. I about fell on the floor. Are you talking about the pasta, Maria? Talking about the pasta? Duffy. Hey, Darren. Yeah, Darren. I'm normally live Thursdays and Saturdays. Darren, I'm normally live Thursdays and Saturdays. I wasn't live. It's been a bit up and down because I haven't been well, so I haven't always been able to. But yeah, normally Thursdays and Saturdays, mate. Thursday mornings, Saturday mornings. You got Iron Realms Mondays and Thursdays. I used to do Tuesdays as well. I used to do Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Iron Realm used to do. Oh, they Monday, Wednesday, Friday and Friday night, so it literally covered the whole bloody week. We had it covered for the morning shows. Hello, Liz. Welcome. Great to see you, Liz. You never knew about Thursdays, Darren? Holy smokes, man! I've been doing Thursdays for since I started. Since I've been ill, I've toned it down a little bit, but yeah, always check Thursday mornings, Saturday mornings, man.
Didn't they teach you to reach for the stars while opening up the bars and keeping you chained down with mortgage.
Yeah, it's like if you buy a red car, you start noticing red car. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's definitely the same thing, and that's kind of what happens with Mandela affected people. Never been Mandela affected in their lives. As soon as they learn about Mandela effect, then suddenly they start getting Mandela affected.
Caffeinated hate-filled scars and rage-quit repertoires. No answers for yards, caught up in emotion that's not even yours. Imposter truths like impeccable retards, lined up for your serving of gish galloping wars. No remedy can save the lost, in love with the yarn. I'm tired of walking into refracted shards, poor science displayed by disgusting bards. Soaked in sin with your dupe is delight and a new hand of cards.
MDD?
Seems like for love I'm just too hard, I said.
Welcome to the show.
Where you don't know if it's part of the show. Welcome to the show. If you don't know, you don't know. Intoxicated eight makes you believe you're spinning in space while you have no shame or grace. It's a disdainful state I used to contemplate how to save myself from my own self-hate. Wonder why I was even made with a dreadful fate, forced to try and awake with a full plate, no one to help me stay awake.
Hey, good morning, Nana. How you doing? How are you doing?
But my brother,
Listening, getting ready. Cool. A lot of people do that. Make sure you got your coffee. Got your coffee, Nana.
Fepe's beak is strong. We have our song and we march along like streams of knowledge leading to God's holy pond and lives of truth that hits the bong and sings.
Some people remember chemtrails. I can't remember chemtrails as a kid, huh?
And all of us wearing our holy crowns. Said the earth.
I can't remember chemtrails growing up as a kid. I honestly can't remember that. It's not what I don't remember these lines and all spreading out across the. I don't remember that. I just remember fluffy clouds. The way they're meant to be.
This flat, and we probably just won't get along.
I was born in 71 as well, so all for basically from late 70s onwards. I don't remember the sky being like that. The never remembers clear skies. I've workman. Maria doesn't remember. Yeah, I don't remember. I can do is getting the electric check. Mandela is 100% social media. Been saying that for a long time, pals. We was going in on the Mandela effects for quite a long time. I eased off though, it's people's personal opinions in it, and people get butt hurt as well. Little fluffy clouds. I was born in 70. Yeah. It was just normal skies, wasn't it? Growing up, you had normal skies, but then it all just sort of went weird in the 2000s. And maybe I don't even really remember them in the 90s. I don't really remember chemtrails in the 90s either. Were you looking on the ground for pennies? I don't think I was. Right, we've got a few vids. Let's check that. Hold on. Let's check out. Top of the hour. Welcome to the show. No, part of the show. Oh, we got some Nick. Got suits. We got Flat Out Truth, and we got something we can just. We've got Flat Out and Coffee. That's sort of saying some strange stuff about the 24-hour sun. We could check that out later. We got Nachi and Dell, if you want to watch that, guys. Old World Order, Hibbler Production. In fact, what I'm going to do with that Old World Order, Hibbler Productions, I'm going to go live. I'm going to do a live and just watch that on its own. So it's in the. I've got it in there. Or we can watch Dave Rice and Eddie Bravo talking to Alex Jones. We watch these ones first. We decide on that after. Let's check it out.
To show you how this particular bamboo stick with a copper wire coil is promoting growth in these beans that we planted here. I'll just pull back so you can see them. So you can see that, I mean, we planted these a few days ago. They're obviously in the tropics here. They grow very well, and then this is all kind of slanted over now. We just took this old bamboo, and that just happened to be one of the sticks I've used before for doing electroculture. But what I can see has happened is that among all these beans which are growing very well, this particular one right under this
It's growing a lot more.
stick with the copper wire is growing much faster or much more quickly than the rest. Yeah, it's really just kind of loving going up there. So that's one, I think, a nice bit of proof that we've got the electroculture works. And that wasn't intentional in this case. It was just that I was just using that particular stick. Yeah, so yeah, interesting. I'm sure that, looking at, I know if you're in the UK or something, veggies grow very slowly. When I was back in the UK, I put some spring onions in the ground, and they're still just kind of very, very slowly growing from reports from home. But yeah, just wanted to share that with you, and let's have a look at the rest of the garden while we're at it. That's really looking a shambles now. It's just keeling over, so I'll have to straighten that
Trying
out.
the electroculture on my strawberries, going well so far. Some big strawberries just ripening up. Cool, cool. Well, at least you're trying it though, Darren, right? You're giving it a go.
Veg over here. This little pond is wonderful. You put water in. Never actually done anything apart from put water in here, but you've got pond skaters and snails. They just appear. And we've got the frogs come here at night, and there's gazillions of tadpoles in here now. So yeah,
I love little ponds. I love them.
that's really nice.
Just like a little life haven, isn't they? Put a pond in your garden.
Coming here. This is Morning Glory, and this only took like we
That's
these
nice.
from seed.
I like that.
And
Morning Glory.
just maybe it's been we're into the second week now, so you can.
Hey, good morning, Mima. How you doing?
Take these,
Welcome.
and I'll turn around, and they're fine for eating straight away raw.
E. Marley. Oh, Marley. Is that your name, Marley? Oh,
Eating.
I like Mima. I've remembered Mima. So.
Excuse me. For digestion, excuse me, it's not that, it's just most swallow something wrong. But yeah,
Seeds of Morning Glory are hallucinogenic. Are they really, Jax?
full of flavour when you pick them like
The
that.
seeds of that grass stuff there are hallucinogenic.
So
I
these
didn't know
are,
that.
what do you call these? Makua in Thai.
That looks nice.
No, is it? This one's coming up. You can see it. Can't remember what you call these, but you can see this one coming on now. Yeah. Makua Yao.
Is it edible? Is
That
it?
is in Thai a long. I can't remember what they're called. This is struggling. Bit of Italian basil there, but a bit too bright.
I used to love rhubarb
Found
and
that,
custard.
Rosemary, just we got this as a plant. It's rosemary, but we always get this issue. We buy it from a place that's air conditioned, and it obviously just can't handle the heat. So rosemary always ends up dying like that, which is a shame. It's another one you can pick and eat. Yeah.
Morning Glory killed my ivy. What's what's it? I mean, ivy's pretty prolific, isn't it? Anything that can kill ivy is a good thing, isn't it? Because ivy, once the ivy gets going, you know, it gets everywhere. I mean, its roots, especially if it's climbing up a wall, can destroy walls, can get right into all the cement, and it's pretty bad. Pretty bad stuff. That's a pretty good thing, Laura, that you found that. I've seen like, have you seen like what's happened to the volume? You know when you see like ivy like wrapped around the tree and you can't see the bark of the tree, it's just all ivy. I mean, that's pretty bad, I think. What's happening here? What's happened with the volume? Nick, your volume's gone, dude. Our sound cuts off about halfway through. Not sure why. Okay. Check out Suits.
Love YouTube. Just out on a bike ride, sitting at my favourite place up at Wimble Hill, looking at from the Kent side to the Essex side, and check that out.
Oh gosh. Cheers, Suits, for that.
That ain't no
Thanks for that, Suits.
moisture.
I'm in that like
Don't panic.
we call that musky sort of all that. Oh, it looks horrific, doesn't it? So this direction here is where I live. I live over this direction.
Essex, because we got it on our side too. You just see the difference, man. It's a joke. They was kicking off all yesterday evening. It was like they cleared it up, and then they got ready for this. Is this just like practice runs because Dubai went absolutely ape?
It's pretty flat. It's
shit,
pretty flat,
yeah,
lighting.
seeding and lost control. We're just seeing if we can recorrect what they've went out and set, and then they go and reverse it, make sure they can switch it on and off. What is going on? Man, I've seen loads of blue sky trying to get through them clouds up there. They've just been non-stop. You could see it through the clouds. I tried to see if the camera picked it up, but it wouldn't. But you can
Hey, Suits is in.
see
How you doing, Suits?
the straight lines through the clouds. It's just a constant bombardment, even though you can't actually see it properly. And there's your aftermath.
Yeah, that's where I live. Where's Suits is.
What's going on?
Look at that soup of
Breathing
bloody
shit in.
chemicals that I live
It's
in.
low as well, people. It ain't just like up medium height.
That
You
goes-
don't think I've got away.
Suits that goes straight to the ground, mate. That's going right. That's high. That's right to the ground. So we're actually walking all the way through this. Whatever it is, they're spraying. Look at that. You don't notice it. If you was here on this hill here, you wouldn't notice. You wouldn't think oh bloody hell, it looks really misty. No, it'd just be like a normal day. But looking back from this hill, back this way, you'll see this again.
Because I'm sitting up on a hill. You've seen it beside me up on the hills. In the distance.
Damn.
Look. Any farmers, any bike riders out there, mate? Pfft. I've been seeing loads of bees dead.
Oh no.
Just wondering if this is part to play. No pesticides don't do things favours, but mate,
Tell me, guys, when was the last time you see a bee? I'm talking about people in the UK. People in the UK out in the chat now. When was the last time you see a bee? Not a wasp, a bee. The last time one flew in my window, I think it was last year. I think an actual bumblebee flew in, but flew out. That was the first one I'd seen for ages.
hey, yeah, I digress.
Pretty sad, really. Little
What
harmless
people?
creatures.
I'll love you and leave you.
Hey, good morning,
It's time to
Melody.
Start walking around with tanks of water with a mask on, so when you breathe, you're breathing air through the water.
I haven't seen a bee yet this year, and not many last year. And
All them
Melody's
little
like
grass. I've got
like
little-
out in the wild, like mountains and out in the distance, big areas of land. You know, it's not all like built up like the UK is. Like this is like, you know, house over there, concrete there, pretty spread out. So you would expect a lot of insects and bees and stuff like that. Melody hasn't even seen any. That's kind of scary, really.
Mini grow system going
Think
on.
about it.
With all plants that produce oxygen and just breathe that in with your own little miniature garden on your backpack. What the is going on? Mother Nature come and fight back. And I'm telling you, all these things are doing, yeah, ain't windy at all. But these are on tick over.
Canada had a
You guessed
bumblebee
it, just spreading it around.
in my truck. I let him out. Yeah, you got to be friendly to bumblebees.
In case it builds up in one place.
See, bumblebees, never kill bumblebee. Never kill a bumblebee. Always let it go, let it out of the house, or open the window up. I do the same with wasps. A lot of people freak out at wasps. Like, if they come in, well, I just open my window up as far as I can and pull the net back. They find their own way out. Don't freak out. Don't kill it. Doesn't deserve to die
Probably what these
because of your fear.
Just sitting there on tick over. I've seen a few of them where they go ape shit too fast, and they just literally rip themselves to pieces. You know what I mean? They're ticking over on diesel anyway when they're like that.
It's like round here, they spray the out the roses and
Keep an eye on the
shrubs.
scars, big
Don't
look.
realise that they're killing the bees. Yeah, it's a problem, isn't it? It's a serious problem. Yeah. Now, if you're talking about mozzies and mosquitoes, you know, you've got one of them flying around, especially at night. It's the worst feeling is at night when you're asleep. You start hearing, oh my! It's just you're in that deep REM sleep, and you're hearing that thing like buzzing around your ear. It's like, oh no! It's really, really annoying. Really annoying. You kind of get up. You kind of like, where is it? I'm just gonna get it quickly to go back to sleep. I hate them. I hate mozzies. I really do. And I used to go fishing as well, so we used to get attacked by them at night. You get mozzies attacking you at night when you go night fishing, especially in the summertime. Is it ends of the earth though, or is it just the beginning of a new piece of water, land beyond this continent? Does this wrap around us, or is this an actual continent on the flat plane? They can both be on the flat plane, but one's finite and one's a bit more, you know, it's not confined over a dome. Let's just say that.
One of the most mysterious places on Earth. It's as unique as it is secretive. And unlike most destinations, you can't just hop off a commercial flight. Unless you're an elite scientist or an emperor penguin, exploring the Antarctic is forbidden.
I mean, that's definitely...
Good luck overcoming
That's definitely a wall, right?
of negative 130 degrees.
That's definitely an ice wall going on. Can't tell me that's not an ice... But where is it? Is this filmed at Antarctica, or is this filmed in Greenland? You can't tell, right? This could be filmed anywhere if there's an ice shelf. But let's just give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's just say this is Antarctica. Well, that's an ice wall, isn't it?
Degrees Fahrenheit, or negative 90 degrees Celsius. But why is it restricted? And where do these rules come from? And an American Navy explorer by the name of Admiral Richard Byrd Jr. changed everything. In 1957 and 58, a bunch of...
See, there's more of a possibility of being more lands beyond this point than it being finite with the out in outer space with a dome over the top of it. We've got to get out of this mindset of space and objects floating in outer space. This is a created realm for us to survive in our fleshy Earth suits. That's all this place is. You got people running around trying to figure it out. Fair play, fair play. You're never going to figure it out. You're never going to figure it out. It's way too big. As I say, I see us as like a pixel within an enormous, formless plane, and we're like one. Everything we know in our existence, all the continents are like one little pixel within that. That's how big the plane is. People just want to. That's the thing with humanity. They just want to make it finite. No. That's where we are. Just these continents here. In fact, there's a dome over that, and we're in outer space, so there's nowhere for you to go. You can't travel to these lands. There's nowhere for you to go.
Countries.
It's the same. It's the same as being on the globe. There's nowhere for you to go.
Came together and were like, you know what? We love what this new research is showing. So the Antarctica Treaty was created. What does that mean exactly? Well, it means that smarty pants scientists in lab coats can venture into the icy abyss.
It's infinite, David. We will travel to distant galaxies one day. How dare you?
We can for
The plane could be infinite. It could formless, and if that's true, well then we've got to stop thinking in terms of it all being separate. It's all one realm, including the space. Yeah, it's all one thing. So if the ground is going to keep going on, so will the space above it. But that's the true distances we've got to travel. It's not up there and out of space and going out. It's across the way. It's across the lands. That's the real space. Don't fall for the finite trick that's been played on us. Like they tried it with the globe, and then they put the PSYOP pizza dish out there, and they tried it with that. And when you break it down, they're exactly the same. There's no difference.
For example, head to the Antarctic waters on a cruise ship. Can we set foot on the land as well? Technically, yes. There are a few landing spots along the peninsula. So we know we're not allowed to wander around the frostbitten land of Antarctica, but why exactly is that? First and foremost, it's for the protection of the environment. But as much as we do want to keep our beloved environment thriving, we've also been banned for our own safety. Temperatures can drop to a whopping negative 130 degrees Fahrenheit. That's negative 90 Celsius. Okay, so what would actually happen if...
Does it though? I mean, we know some parts of it very, very cold, and the temperature just does drop. But once you get beyond them points, there's meant to be just like normal rocks and with no ice on it, and waters and grasses and...
We did try to visit Antarctica. If you break the rules, get ready to deal with fines of up to $10,000 and even a year behind bars for each rule that you break. According to the Antarctic Treaty, anybody accused of a crime in Antarctica is subject to punishment by their own country.
So what's a crime then in Antarctica? Going there, is that the crime? The crime is in Antarctica is actually going there. Ridiculous. How can another human being or people tell you not to go? It's
but
just
what if you're just
insanity
visiting
in
as
this
a
place.
tourist from a country that isn't part of the treaty? Well, in that case, usually the host nation of the ship or plane you arrived on takes the reins, and the captain or pilot of the ship could take full temporary control over you. Antarctica isn't only a restricted landmass, but also one of the largest forbidden airspaces on the planet. It's because of legislation that...
How is Duffy getting to bend the rules on this trip? I'm not sure. To be honest with you, I am not sure. I don't know if I trust this pastor. I mean, obviously a millionaire pastor. He used to do investments or something, so he's made a lot of money. This is what I mean. You're not actually going to prove anything. It's pointless, this trip. It's actually pointless. For one, I would not want to spend 5 days with Dave McKeegan. Absolutely not. Imagine, again, you'd be asleep, wouldn't you? And you just hear your zip go. You look up, you've got McKeeg-tard looking through your tent. You want a cuppa? No, piss off. Yeah, that's why you couldn't go on this trip for 5 days with that idiot. You wouldn't last. You don't know what these people get up to.
Most of us, protecting the environment and ourselves is the whole story. However, for a select few, it's believed that there's some rather shady stuff going on behind that ice wall. So if something shady was
Hey
going
Tommy,
on,
welcome
it would
Tommy
be
Rogers.
rather
How you
well
doing?
hidden. And of course, the idea that it's the gateway to the end of the world because the world is flat.
Yeah, it seems pointless. It's set to make a video. Yeah. No, what they've done, they're trying to trap flat earthers. They're trying to trap the flat earthers that say it's a pizza dish with a dome on top floating in outer space. They're the flat earthers they're trying to trap. And they've done it because they've already got Witsit to admit if they do find a 24-hour light source at Antarctica, well, we're in trouble. Well, no, you're in trouble because of the model that you believed, that we told you not to believe. As I keep saying and keep blurting on, we don't know what it is. Nobody knows what it is. That's the actual real truth of the matter. But you guys committed. You then, Craigie boy, fight the flat earth, got a little bit slick with your wits, and you fell for the trick. You admitted to him. It was just, and then you said that most flat earthers believe my model. No, they don't. Far from it. It's a load of bollocks. It's been demonstrated how the sunlight still be here for 24, even though it's not on. Yeah. It's been demonstrated. You can demonstrate it yourself. Actually, it's quite easy with a torch and a bowl, glass bowl. Quite easy to demonstrate. Globe is the physics of the eyeball. It is, Scotty. It's exactly what it is. They've hijacked the physics of the eyeball and the way the eyeball operates. They've taken that and they've wrapped it around the. Well, they've taken that and told you there's curvature. That perspective and the way your eyes observe the optical part of the eye. The globe. Perspective plays a huge role. Roles with the sun. Yeah, with any object, ours, even the clouds, the sun, the moon. Yeah, perspective plays a huge part in observations of them. Say the highest cloud in the sky is always above your head, and then as you look out to the horizon, they come down. Clouds always come down to the horizon, and that's the perspective working. Just on a bigger scale than the lights going down the road. They get smaller and smaller. The bigger scale of that. Ground comes up. Lampposts go down to the convergence point. That's what's happening in the clouds. Coming down. It's all perspective. Because in reality, what's actually happening in reality, the clouds are running parallel with the ground. That's what's happening in reality. And your eyes are bringing the clouds down and the ground up. Just like the lampposts. Yeah, and the light at the top of the lamppost with the floor, with the ground, they're parallel. But you're observing them, they're getting smaller and smaller and smaller. In reality, they're always running parallel. That's the same with the clouds and the land. Not perfectly parallel. They're sitting on like a dense layer. They're sitting on that layer, and you know that's relatively, I'll say, relatively level with the ground. You get your little high clouds, low clouds. But yeah, that's what's happening. It's, you know, and they've stolen that perspective and the way you look and told you there's curvature. That's all they've done. Hey, Mr. Jones, how you doing? They switched the sun moving and said we are moving. Yeah. You can see what they've done. Shout out to London McLovin's crew, eyeballs always. Is London in? Is it? How is it? Can't see it. I lived in Australia during the summer. I watched the sun rise in the southeast and set in the southwest. After equinox, the sun moves to the northern sky. The sun does the same in Ushuaia, Argentina. Look, as I say, if there is a light source that goes on for like 20 hours at the it doesn't mean nothing. It doesn't mean we live on a sphere. Far from it. Far from it. Because we've already debunked the globe with this stuff called water, right? You don't need to be looking up here to debunk the ground that you're standing upon. People saying it's spherical, it obviously is not. We shouldn't be looking up here. We should be measuring this stuff. We've already done it. Hey Trip, how you doing? Soon it will be going back south. How you doing, Trip? Mr. Jones says water is a leveling tool. Sea level, Earth is level. Yeah, absolutely. Darren is drifting away with a spliff watching this. I'm going to do a vape, man. I want to join Darren. I want to get this vape going. Right, let me just... Okay. Yeah, okay. I'm going to make the vape up.
What's going on, everyone? Hope you guys are doing fine. So I've been catching these debates online on TikTok. First of all, I want to give all the credits to Angels of Light. He's the one who has been debating these globe believers. So shout out to you. Give him a follow if you are on TikTok. So these guys, they don't think of their own, like they have been instructed to deny that the speed of the Earth is roughly 1,040,000 miles per hour at the equator, 1,600 kilometers per hour at the equator. So they have all been instructed to deny this, and they use numbers like rotations or degrees. So this video is going to be to address this. We're going to be listening now a couple of
Let's just listen to this couple of these professors.
Since I was a kid, I have learned the speed of the Earth in kilometers in Brazil, 1,000.
Let's just listen to a couple of these professors getting mind controlled.
Three different languages. We all have learned that, but now they have been denying this very fact. So let's go ahead and take a listen to these guys stating that the speed of the Earth at the equator is in fact 1,040 miles per hour or 1,600 kilometers per hour.
Well, I mean, NASA doesn't have to perform an experiment to prove that it's moving.
Oh, not this numpty.
You can figure out that at the equator, the Earth is moving at about 1,000 miles per hour from a reference frame that is outside of the Earth.
No, I can't listen to this numpty. I'm sorry. I'd rather listen to Nachi and Dell than listen to that idiot. That guy is just one of the most annoying people.
Namaste, everybody. Nachiketa here, and today we have a special guest. His name is Dell, and his channel is called Beyond the Imaginary Curve. And without further ado, this is Dell over here. And how are you today, sir?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you very much. Thanks for asking me to come and have a discussion.
Obviously, we ain't be able to watch all
Thank
of
you
this.
for
We
being
watched
here.
like
We-
a half hour or something of it.
Yeah, I think we could turn you up a little bit because your mic is a little bit on the soft side. So let me just turn you up maybe about 15%. Let's see how you sound now.
1 2 1 2.
Yeah, I think that's better. So, Dal, tell us a little bit about yourself. I know that you're from Scotland, right? Are you born and raised there?
Yes, I'm born and raised in Scotland. Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
It's quite funny because Dell doesn't do this, does he? Dell doesn't really like doing it. I mean, explaining himself and talking about himself. And then that's what Nachi likes. That Nachi wants you to explain a bit about your past and.
Go ahead. I thought you wanted to say something.
No, sorry. I think there's just a slight delay between myself and you. I was just waiting for you to speak. I find it very difficult to speak about myself. I'm kind of introverted in that respect.
I don't like it either.
I don't really think me as a man is relevant. Maybe people are interested in who I am. But
I make jokes about it, but I really don't like doing it.
Discussing me, but I'll try my best.
Okay. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, Nachi's cool. Nachi's really cool.
Let's just get right into it. So you don't want to talk about yourself too much. So
it's good seeing Nachi spread his wings a bit and start bringing people on and doing his own thing. Yeah, it's good. It's really good to see actually. Yeah, I think he does a great job, Nachi.
So,
the interviews.
Can you let me know
He's got the Zen.
when
He's got the Zen.
You have arrived to this kind of like flat Earth cosmology? I mean, like that's really one of your main topics of discussion, is it not? Dal?
Yeah, I think it's the main topic of discussion. Although I delve into various aspects of just being a human being, psychology, the manipulation that we've experienced through life. But yeah, I mean, the cosmology, I think 2014 is when I had that realization, and then made my first video on YouTube on 2015, I think it was. So, yeah.
Wow. And then, like, how did you come to that? I mean, how did you come to that? Because that's quite early as far as like flat Earth, I don't know, like realization. Like, what were you looking for? What caused that to happen? Walk us through that a little bit.
There's a bit of subjectivity in regards to the first part of that realization. For me, I'd always been searching and asking questions through my whole life, and delving into all manner of conspiracy and alternate news and whatever else from the 1990s, I would say. And then in the periphery, obviously there was people discussing cosmology. And I actually had a dream one night in regards to some massive tsunami that happened.
What?
And that very next day, I had the question in my mind.
I had the same dream about a massive tsunami. Isn't that strange? This was ages ago as well. Ages and ages ago. Enormous wave. I started having these dreams. That's weird. I must have missed this part. I didn't catch Del saying that.
Thinking about it and thinking, how can water actually bend? Can a standing body of water bend? And as soon as I had that thought in my mind, I knew straight away the penny dropped as I started to search, standing body of water bending on Google. I knew fine well that I was never going to find that. So that's where it started for me.
So strange.
Yeah.
I had the same dream about a tsunami.
Yeah. So who did you find, or what kind of material did you like look for at that time? Like there was probably not much content as on YouTube, very little material there. So what did you find at that time? I mean, how did you like confirm your questions?
Well, it wasn't so much about who did I
Hey,
find.
Chili
A
Ing,
lot of these
welcome.
characters arrived in maybe later 2015. For me, I had already been in a process of questioning science and what science actually was. So for me, it was more about, you know, again, I'm not the type of person who will go looking for a YouTube personality or some perceived authority. I've always had an issue with authority. I've always liked to find things out for myself. And, you know, going through a process of comprehending what science was, what the subdivisions of science were, and the early days of the flat earth, I laid a lot of that out in regards to, you know, the subdivisions of science and what they actually meant. In particular, the difference between the natural sciences and the formal sciences. So we've got like mainstream, who is, you know, wrapped up in mathematics and pushes mathematicians to the top of the pile above the other sciences. So for me, it was about comprehending and being able to separate the argumentations, what was being presented. And I had already formulated a position of, well, if I'm going to listen to external information, my filter then, if somebody's making claims to me about the objective world, my filter then has to be practicality. So anything I put my attention to, then I had to think, well, can I bring that into a practical setting? Can I demonstrate this for myself? Can I actually, you know, get to the root of any claim? And then from there, you start to realise where a lot of claims are based on.
What did... Schlo says Nachi likes a good conversation, and during this interview, he banned Beyond Belief. He removed all wrenches since. And that was by accident. It was actually by accident. He thought that BV was having a pop at one of his friends, and that's why he removed the wrench. But yeah, someone spoiled it for everyone else. And Del, I didn't actually accuse you. I said, isn't it strange? I didn't say Del hacks Nachi. I said, it's strange that this happened. Maybe it will see it as a bit of mud. I just thought it was strange. I wasn't thinking mud. I just thought it was odd.
Biased interpretation, and then, you know, mathematics is then utilised to convey a particular narrative. So
hey, Hopes,
that
how
was
you
pretty
doing?
much the basis for me. I mean, I came across many characters.
Hey, Sixes, what's up?
I place no relevance upon any of these characters. You know, and I would suggest that to anybody that watches this. You know, if you're looking at the cosmology, the shape of the Earth, don't go looking, you know, at a personality. If you're looking for a personality to convince you of something or change your mind, then it's fair enough to hear information and have that pique your interest and your curiosity and your skepticism. But you have to go the next step and actually seek yourself to see whether something's true or not, you know? So.
Globe is stranger day. Yes, absolutely.
Sorry, I'm muted.
Ultimately, that matters. It doesn't matter who says it. Go ahead, sir.
No, sorry, I was just saying you were muted. I seen you started speaking there and then your microphone came off. It's probably something to do with the delay. Sorry about that.
No problem. If we can, like I can cam down and you can cam down, that might help with the delay a little bit. But I live in the woods. I live in the mountains, so there's going to be about half a second delay. Just letting you know.
That's fine. That's no problem.
All right. So let's continue on with the discussion. So yeah, I would agree with you that don't get too attached to personality types. There's all kinds of personality types, and we're in 2024. So you've been, let's say, awake to the flat Earth cosmology for nearly 9-10 years now. That's, you know, you've seen it. There's been a massive progress. I would say, like I first woke up to the flat Earth cosmology when I was back in 2014. You know, I heard about Mark Sargent, Eric Dubay, and Matt Powerland back in the day. And then 2015, like Jeranism and Globebusters were coming around and some others. But now there are like probably 100 times more flat Earth content creators than there were.
Yeah, there's 100 times more, but it's 100 times harder to find them. That's the crazy thing about it, especially on YouTube. Especially information that you want to find out about flat Earth or anything about it, experiments and so on. You can't find them because the algorithm pushes idiots like Fight the Flat Tits, Simon Tran, and all these weirdos, McTooney weirdo. They if you can research flat Earth, this is the stuff that comes up first.
Back
It's
in
disgraceful.
2015. So
Why
there's a lot
would you do
more
that?
people
Why would
talking
you do
about
that?
it. But let me just preface by saying that at least from what I know about your channel is that I would say like you are a kind of a controversial figure within the flat Earth community. Would you agree with that sentiment or statement?
Yeah, totally. I always have been. A lot of people credit me with starting a huge part of the movement with the street activism and various other activities in 2015. I've always been controversial because I do not fall into anybody's group. I do not belong to any community, and I always discourage people from that. So I've always been viewed as somebody who is a troublemaker, if you like, when it's really not the case. I'm very cautious about cults forming. I'm very cautious about vulnerable people getting involved with groups, especially a lot of these characters push blatant nonsense and disinformation. So I thought it was very important to be rigid in that regard, especially when it comes to models of a flat Earth. And I would like to just premise that or clarify that for people. The Earth is not flat. It's demonstrably not flat. Flat is not a shape. Flat describes a surface. It's just a word that's used, a phrase, and it's a very loaded phrase. And I was very conscious of that from the very beginning.
I don't know why people get hung up on the word flat. To me, it's ridiculous. You're describing a surface area. That's what you're doing. And it's not flat, is it? It's not like a billiard table. It's not like a table flat. It's flat in the sense of high points and low points on a plane and level, right? But that's, you look at it from the side, that's only 2D. It's like from point A to B, right? We're talking about a large surface area. And if you want to describe a large surface area, you're going to say it's flat. Right?
There were so many groups who started.
Don't get hung up on stupid words and stuff like this, right? It's not worth it.
Involved,
it really
pushing particular maps and models, making excuses about why they were doing so, and I was always very vocal about that. So from the very beginning, I was seen as some sort of controversial figure because
I don't think Dell was that controversial. Do you? People out there that was around back in the day, I don't think Dell was that controversial at all. He was like the rest of us. We was all just looking for answers, right? And as I said, it wasn't just Dell saying don't believe this model. There's a few of us saying don't believe this model. It's a psyop. Not everyone bought into that. These models and theories and all this. It was just like, let's go by the practical, which is water, physical properties of water. Let's go from there. This is where the keys are. This is where all the answers are. The answers are right here, and it's called water.
I don't fall into anybody's little group,
How would you describe it then? What would be the descriptors that you would use to describe this cosmology? Because I know that flat Earth is a bit of an.
Look, I still like Dell now. I think Dell's more controversial now than he was way back then. I believe that, 100%. In fact, that is 100%. More controversial now than he was back then, I think. But yeah, I've got no hate against Dell at all. I really haven't. Yes, I clown around. I'll be a dickhead sometimes, and I might wind a few up. Right? It really isn't personal. Right? I'm just trying to get a laugh at you guys more than anything. But yeah, I think Dell does a good thing. I really do. We need people like Dell in this, right? It's like you do need people like Dell in the truth movement.
Abrasive label, and a lot of people have a little bit of difficulty going along with it. So some people say, well, I'm an anti-glober, so is there a way
now the debate of is it moving upwards, is there motion or not? Well, you're gonna have to have that out with Dell himself, aren't you?
properly describe yourself and your view, how would you explain yourself in that way?
I think that's the problem, isn't it? You know, terms are very loaded, and even if you say, well, I'm a globe skeptic, people just automatically jump to labeling you as a flat earther. I mean, and for me, it's the Earth's demonstrably a level plane. Level's an orientation. It's an orientation
Dorian doesn't
based
agree.
on a motion vector.
Dorian's like, get the fuck out of here. It wasn't large man. Why is in Earth though in a truth movement? I don't think so.
And that's
But he's come to this conclusion over the last few years, right? Still.
pretty much my position, which I'm sure we can get into.
But he's only going off the practical. He's only going off the experiment and what it's showing him, isn't it? That's no. We've got to be honest about it.
In a bit more detail. The full dimensions of the Earth are unknown to me and anybody else I've met. And the message I have always pushed for is that we need full exploration of the realm. Nobody should be pushing maps, models, portraying the Earth in any other way than what it actually is. So that's, in a nutshell, that's my position.
So I would say that you want to be very cautious about making claims, basically, and then just go with what we actually really know, 100%. And
that's actually a good point. Heart Earth. That's actually a good point. You put flat in front of any noun, and it's funny. Flat tire, flat ass, etc., etc.
then don't speculate about let's say the Antarctica around the flat Earth, or it's the infinite plane. Things like that. Some people even go along with the Mercator map flat Earth as well.
Yeah. That's true, Tone. That's absolutely spot on. Tony says, I learned a lot from Dale, especially on how to present and deliver this topic to people. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Great point. Hello, FPV. Isn't that a model? FPV, hilarious. How you doing, FPV? Stick to the demonstration, the most intellectual. Yeah, it is. It is. If you're just listen, it's the. I know Dale ain't gonna like this. It's the interpretation of it. Something's happening there. Something's happening, right? No, you're gonna have to have it out with Dale to see what's happening.
There are many different flat Earth maps out there. Some people even say that the flat Earth is on the moon. There's a moon map that's got the flat Earth on it as well. So there's a lot of different avenues that people go down on in terms of their, let's say, outlook or perspective or cosmology of the world that they're living in. And you're careful to make any kind of claims, correct?
Yeah, I think it's very important for people to realise that, when you falsify something, you're not obliged to replace it. And the problem that I've noticed is that there's so many, flat earthers who don't fully comprehend the globe model yet, but yet they want to jump to representing some sort of flat earth model. And as I say, I think the most important thing, first and foremost for me, is to comprehend the workings of your own mind, to comprehend grammar, logic, rhetoric, how it's utilised, and fully comprehend that before you then turn your attention and your study to the heliocentric model. Because if you're not equipped with those tools, it's going to be very difficult for you to discern.
Hey, Calix, how you doing? Hey, take little trip
where it's
with me.
relevant, where it's important. So many people just
hope you guys are good. Take little, Alex, Sue Finelli. Hope you guys are good. Take a little trip. Why did take a little trip with? No, what am I doing? I'm not reading the bloody. I'll get confused. That's it. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. They've not come in the chat. I'm reading the other chat again like an idiot.
Say, well, I'm a globe skeptic. Water's flat, therefore Earth's flat, and blah blah blah. They don't seem to have a full comprehension. So for me, it's very important. We were all born into a cult, as far as I'm concerned, that told us what the Earth was. Now this cult has the burden of proof. There's absolutely no place or reason for me to have to replace any of the claims that have been made to me since I was a child. It's up to these people to justify.
Now, Dan MC has come into the chat.
Their claims, and if they cannot satisfy their claims and take the responsibility of their own burden, then that's the issue. Again, falsification does not require me to replace it with something else, you know?
Yes. So let me ask you, if you don't mind, like, what are some of the major incomprehensions that you have come across about flat earthers? And again, I'm going to use this term very loosely, so please do forgive me. I'm going to just talk in generalities here, just to make the conversation a little bit easier. But the people within the flat Earth community, you know, as you were saying, that they don't have a proper comprehension of the globe Earth model. So what are some major examples of that? Could you share some of that with us?
Well, so many, and you know, obviously on the spot, but one of the major things that, you know, myself and Gav back in the day talked extensively on was that I still watch and hear flat earthers discussing optical phenomena and arguing with globe earthers about, you know, optics.
That's where Dell was actually awesome. Dell and Gav. That's what I learned. That's what I learned from Dell and Gav. It was the optics. And the way they broke it down, the way they broke the optics down and basically told you there's curvature, was that was awesome. Once I understood that, I was like, holy shit. That's true. Yeah, that was a big eye opener for me, was understanding the optics.
So the horizon, the distance to the horizon, refraction, these types of things. When we're talking about, you know, optical phenomena, we're discussing the geometry of your vision. It's a total separate and different topic to the shape of the Earth, because the way we see the world is not how the world actually is. So I still see flat earthers who don't nail down that distinction, that when we're talking about optics, we're talking about the geometry of how we see, not the geometry of the world. You know, the geometry of the world's engineering, practicality. You know, you see so many, even globe earthers will show you an orthographic projection view of, you know, a taller, like, you know, if I give an example, you know, the apparatus behind me is, you know, taller than...
Hold on, what person has actually put 5% of people said they do trust Dave McKeegan and the past Craig McToon and Simon Tran. Why on earth are you coming in here protecting Dave McKeegan and the pastor? So obviously that's you three. It's obvious. No one else would put that. No one else would tick yes except you three. Unbelievable. 5% of people said yes.
So a globe earther will draw an orthographic view of me, you know, the thing behind me, and then they'll start drawing lines and making distinctions and making claims about these things. When that's orthographic projections is when we measure the world and the things within the world as they actually are. When we view the world optically, that's not what the world actually is. So there has to be a definite distinction, and there's too much time wasted arguing about optics when it's not been clarified.
That's a great point, Mr. Jones. Great point. It's funny when globers act like they have a model. I've yet to see a globe holding a drop of water.
That's what you're arguing.
Nicely put.
If I ask you right now to go out into your street and I want you to measure the street, I want you to measure the house at the bottom of the road.
They are winding you up, Banner.
Probably, yeah. Achieve that through looking at it. You know. So that's probably one of the most important ones for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna cam down just because over at my side it's a little bit on the choppy side. But you can cam up. You can stay cammed up. It's fine. This is just for more clarity in our audio. But you know, like when you say that the world is not when seeing the world is not exactly how it is, then the question that comes to my mind is that how does one come?
It does. It says not for educational purposes on the bottom of every globe. Why does it say that?
To know how it actually is, right?
Well, when we have things that we can access three-dimensionally, we can use
Yeah, he
other
did so.
aspects of our
He
senses,
did.
and we
He
can
did
use
some great
devices and
videos.
whatever else. But what I'm saying in that regard is, I'm not saying that, you know, we can't establish things in the world. But what I'm saying is when we look at the optical, you know, field of view, and we're observing things within that, you're not making measurement. You're making measurement of how you perceive it visually. That's the point I'm trying to make. When you're trying to measure something based on how you're perceiving it. That's not the same. You know, again, everybody knows this. If we look along train tracks, they appear to converge. So it's an appearance. You know fine well that they're not converging. But if we then move three-dimensionally towards those things, we can use various means to measure and express and realise that the spacings are equal indefinitely. You know, so things like that.
Right.
Or, you know,
yeah, it's a perspective. It's a perspective thing that you're talking about. Like with the claims of people saying that we know there's a curve because you know, objects starts to disappear over the ocean bottom up or something like this. You know.
Yep, there you go. There you go.
That's just a matter of
perspective.
environment and perspective.
Yep.
But that doesn't mean that there's curvature necessarily, right?
No, it doesn't mean anything. All it is you're studying how the world appears to us visually. You're not establishing what the world actually is. You're just trying to establish what it is visually. And you know, again, I would ask anybody to go and measure anything using only your eyes.
Dan, I just clicked report.
What's happened there? Maybe the signals went.
Yeah, I think I lost about 5-10 seconds. About you froze for me. I don't know if it froze for the audience or not.
Yeah, you froze for me also. So I'm not sure.
Are you there, Del?
Yep, can you hear me?
Yeah. Do you mind? Yeah. Do you mind? Can you just cam down for now? And
are you off, Chills? Are you off to have some lunch? Can you actually leave it? All right, dude.
Then
cool.
I think that should save on the bandwidth, if that's possible. Thank you. Yes, perfect. Yes, it's much better, I think.
Flat, non-rotating Earth. Yeah.
Okay, so let us continue with the conversation because I guess you don't like to label yourself as a flat earther, but you are a globe skeptic. I don't know what's the best way to categorize you, and then you've been questioning the cosmology that's been given to us since 2015, and you don't really follow anybody. But like, what are your thoughts about, like,
yeah, Mr.
you
Jones?
know, this?
Mr. Jones, I showed them documents. I showed those documents. There's a video out there that goes through all the documents, and NASA documents, Ministry of Defense, and all this with the term flat, non-rotating Earth. Oh yeah, over and over again.
Some cosmology that's been indoctrinated.
Show some aviation documents as well that said the same stuff
to us, you know, because like obviously prior to that time, we all believed that the Earth was a globe, that we all believed that we are a oblique sphere wobbling around, circling around the sun and such like this. Do you think that came very deliberately, or is it just somebody made a mistake somewhere and we've been just kind of going down the wrong path for all these years? What are your thoughts?
Blue window screen.
I've got various thoughts on it. You know, again, I can look at it from a psychological point of view. If you can get people to accept absurdities about the very foundations of their existence, then you can pretty much get them to accept any absurdity. I've tussled with myself so many times thinking about the globe Earth and why it was implemented. Now, a lot of people jump to a fear-based thing that it's a nefarious group who are trying to steer us away from God or the Creator and this, that, and the other, which may very well be an aspect of it. But I also have to think in regards of in the times that we live in, people are very irrational and very impulsive and emotionally reactive. If it was found at a time when we as human beings started to discover, started to move freely, better
man.
vehicles for travelling on.
We remember Mac Fokker. That's so suspicious. To me, today he's still weird, suspicious. Just ends up on his bathroom floor. His wife finds him into like hot yoga and all this, and bit of a health freak. Goes into prison for a little while, comes out a few months later.
On land, air, water, and we made some discoveries. Maybe those discoveries they felt was maybe
I believe
much,
so, Dorian.
or maybe fill the.
I believe so, Dorian. The same as you, and a lot of people think that it's way too weird, suspicious. If you look at the timeline with Mac, you know, out at the hospitals, gets put down, does a bit of prison. That's where I think they got him. They did something to him there. Comes out a few months later, he's found on his floor dead.
Fear.
Weird.
Again, how would the general populace actually react if they discovered tomorrow that they were inside some sort of
Emmett, how you doing?
Some sort of finite enclosed area, and nobody really knew what was going on outside of that. That could be very dangerous. So, I mean, again, it's surmising and guessing. Again, I don't really have to go to the realms of why they would lie or why they've told this story. What's relevant, what's important to me is what they're actually saying, and does what they're saying hold true to my experience and what I can demonstrate to myself. The motives, again, are secondary. You know, nobody goes to a crime scene and says that the crime doesn't happen because there's no motive established. We investigate the scene that we're involved in, and then maybe the motive will be discovered at a later date.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, if there's a murder scene, first you have to determine whether that was, say, an accident or a suicide or a murder, right? And then after those things are established, and if the detective has discovered that it was a murder, then motive is kind of important, because then if you have
that was pretty crazy, man. Flight dynamics tells pilots. Yeah. Did all those 3-4 jumps and dies from a bug. Yeah, in his bathroom. They're targeting streamers. I know it. Yeah, it was weird, wasn't it? Chills and Dorian sort of lost about 5 people. Very small space of time. I thought it was strange.
Have a number of suspects, how you want to allocate your time and energy to follow up on the investigation will kind of determined by what their motivation might be. Usually it has to do with money or inheritance or something to that effect, right?
Yeah. That's in regards to, kind of social settings and run-of-the-mill kind of daily living. In regards to the bigger picture of where we actually are, I could surmise that there would be so many other motives there. But again, it's only surmising. As I say, what's relevant is
Tommy's not really
that
buying
we're being told things that are not true. We have to, have a simplicity in language to be able to convey and highlight these falsities. And then we can maybe move forward, and at a later date we may discover the motive.
Yeah. So, like, before we continue, like, let me ask you though about like why is it so important for you to like make content on your channel? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. What is it about your channel and like what you want to do with it in terms of like you want to educate people, do you not? Or is it just you sharing your thoughts with an audience? Do you think this topic about whether we've been lied to or not, you're saying that, well, we don't really know what their motive is 100%, although we can speculate, Because like at least in my position, I would say that all this stuff is being done quite deliberately,
It's control.
and if we actually kind of follow
Most of it,
through with our belief whether or not there is space or not.
most of it is divide, conquer, and control. That's what it's the main of it.
Let me ask you: do you think there space exists? Like, have you thought about this? Like about like, is there actual space out there? That have we gone to the moon and stuff? What are your thoughts on it?
No, I think for me, what we call the luminaries, the Earth are all one system. They are all connected, the same. As far as anything outwith of that system, then it's a simple, logical deduction for any Earth that.
Today's scientists substituted mathematics for experiments. They wander off through equation after equation and eventually build a structure which has no relation to reality. Absolutely, Mr. Spot on.
That it must exist within a space. You cannot have a three-dimensional object that exists that doesn't have a space to exist within. What we need to clarify is when we talk about the heliocentric model and its claim of outer space, that being that it's a vacuum and that planets and stars are separated by a void, yada yada. But in regards to the Earth and the heavens, if you like, for me, they are one. They are all connected and they are one. Now, outside of that system must be another type of space, not a vacuum or any of these sort of claims, but rationally and logically, if I give you any object, you know that an object must exist within a three-dimensional space. Now, for somebody to be inside of that object, they know fine well that outside of that must exist more space in order for the enclosure that they occupy to exist in the first place. So regardless of what cosmology you go with, then outside of the Earth realm or outside of what we know as Earth, there must be more space. But that doesn't mean to say that I'm saying it's space as in a vacuum.
So yeah, so this idea about vacuum and outer space that you don't necessarily agree with, and what would be your number one and number two reason as to why you can question that or refute that idea?
Because nature abhors a vacuum. There is nothing in our experience. Everything's connected to something else. You cannot ever get to a point of no thing. So it's a nonsense. And coupled with that, as I put that information out there in 2015 or early 2016, going back to physics again, that if people claim that there's a lower pressure area like a vacuum and we exist within a pressurized gaseous environment, then there has to be separation between those.
Tommy says, I've seen a lot of these players and in person met up with Mark Sargent and Pat Steer in Toronto 2018. I wasn't impressed. They come to town for an international film fest. More acting. Wow. So Tommy's few people come in here, have met a lot of these personalities, and they don't say good things about them.
Two environments. That's just simple physics. So, it's very, very, very simple in that regard. But in regards to vacuums, we do not have access to vacuums. Vacuums do not exist. This is part of philosophical materialism, trying to explain the whole of reality as just being matter and matter alone. This is where they end up with nonsense stories of voids and vacuums between apparent objects and these apparent objects affecting each other at a distance with no medium between them. That's total fantasy. That's total nonsense. Anybody that's invested in physics knows that to be the case.
Yeah, but what's interesting though is like when you listen to a lot of these debates, they talk about outer space.
That noise, chill.
And how we have gone to outer space, and that the vacuum of space can exist next to a pressurized system. And what you're saying, and I mean, I'm in agreement with you, of course, but like I'm just playing a little bit of a devil's advocate about what is happening out there. Do you think the people who are going down this route of believing that space
Tony
exists, do you
gets all
think
the
some of
pinned
them are
comments.
deliberately lying, or are they just mistaken and they're just kind of running with it? What I mean, maybe it's speculation to think about that, but I guess this question kind of leads me to ask the question about like ISS and space stations and going to the moon and such. So I'll let you take it from here.
Again, it's you don't need everybody to be involved in a lie. That's akin to saying that I was deliberately lying when I used to regurgitate heliocentric nonsense. I wasn't lying. I was just living in incredulity.
Oh,
living
hey,
in
Liz. I
ignorance.
didn't see you there. Bloody hell.
I
hope you're good, Liz.
Repeating and regurgitating things that I'd heard through my own ego. You don't need everybody to lie. I think it was David Icke years ago used an analogy of, when you walk into a bank, the girl that you meet at the front desk, she doesn't know how the whole system works within the bank. She just carries out her duties. And as far as she's concerned, it's an honest establishment and she's earning an honest coin. It's only the few that are involved at the very top that comprehend the scam, that are involved in the active part of the lie. So not everybody has to be lying. And a lot of these people who try and defend the globe Earth, they're defending that from their own bias. It doesn't mean that they are actively lying, although there are many characters who know fine well that they are telling lies. But the majority of people, I've interviewed many university students
from Mexico to Canada. That's an 8. Yeah, great point, Mister.
Two things that
great
you
point,
notice,
Mr. Jones.
They're not deliberately trying to lie to me. And the other massive
Tommy's
part
getting
is
ready to work.
They don't really comprehend the lie. I interview kind of apparent higher educated university students, and when you ask simple questions about the cosmology,
that's awesome, Liz. This is currently flat smacking electricians, working in her house. That's awesome. That's awesome. Good stuff. Good.
They look at you with a blank stare. It's almost like it's the first time they've ever really had to question it. But I can guarantee you that in previous times of their life, they will have regurgitated aspects of it.
Hey,
but when they're met with somebody who comprehends it and you ask simple questions, you get quite a common response. And some of the honest people will turn around and say, well, that's what I was told, that's what I learned at school. So the majority of the populace are not telling lies.
When you're talking to open-minded people and it can be a really pleasant conversation. I get where Dell comes from sometimes. When you get someone that's just combative, it makes you combative, right? And it makes you want to have that, makes you aggressive. So yeah, it starts turning into a bit of a shouting and ego match, doesn't it? So yeah, I couldn't. Yeah, but as I say, if someone that's open-minded, you can have a great conversation with someone.
Eyes.
Right. Yeah, and I would agree with you. Most people are kind of ignorant, and maybe the control system is kind of operating in a compartmentalized way. So the left hand doesn't really know what the right hand doing. But my main point was that somebody must be lying deliberately. Would you agree that somebody and somebodies are lying deliberately?
Oh, yeah.
Knowing that they are lying?
Of course. Of course.
Yeah. And if that is the case, I mean, like, let's just assume that our perspective and viewpoint is correct, that the Earth is not a oblique sphere that is wobbling around space, and then, the sun is 93 million miles away, and the moon is 240,000 to 235,000 miles away, et cetera, and then there is no quote-unquote vacuum of space, and the people who are perpetuating that lie is doing that deliberately, and we know that they are lying deliberately. What?
Hey there,
I mean, would you?
Hey there, Water. How you doing?
Even care to comment on why they might even be doing that? What would be the reason?
Well, as I say, understanding the motive of these people, I do not have enough information. I have not experienced what these people have experienced, what motivated them to perpetuate this lie. I mean, a lot of lies that human beings tell us for their own gain, for power of some kind, So we can look at it from just that bare, basic aspect that, if I can convince you that you're in some finite area and there's other areas there, then as long as you're occupied and you are content within that area, then I have free reign over the other areas. So we can look at it from that point of view. You can look at it from some spiritual point of view, like many people suggest that, they've done this to hide God or, whatever it may be. And I think that there's a massive psychological aspect to that.
There is definitely a part of that going on, 100%. Because it's been created. This realm's definitely 100% been created. If you want to call that creator a god or fine. Been created. There's no getting around that.
Because as a human being, if you're born into a culture that's telling you that you are meaningless, that you are within an infinite void, and there is no creator, there is no
Okay, no, have a great day, yeah? Take care.
Conscious intent behind any of this, then that can put you in a very fearful position. And from a fearful position, as we all know, people in fear can be very easily manipulated and very easily controlled. So I think there's many factors that we could look at and address in regards to why this lie was being perpetuated. But what we cannot rule out, every single time we hear about these things, it's always a nefarious negative that people entertain. Now, I'm going to make the suggestion yet again, just as another offer on the table. Maybe these people felt justified in having to push this. Maybe the true reality of our situation is something far more terrifying than the heliocentric model. Just as a suggestion, again, I'm not making any claim to that. I'm not trying to put fear in people's minds. You just have to be open-minded and entertain all possibilities. That's the other thing I'm saying.
Yeah. So keep an open mind, but fear is a way to control people for sure.
Right. What else have we? I don't think we have enough time to watch anything. I might as well just keep this going, guys. We've only got like 15, 20 minutes to go. There's nothing really else on the list. We could look at that. We'll look at that. We'll look at that next time.
Sure, and and a lot of people are quite ignorant. I mean, without a doubt, the people who are questioning the heliocentric cosmology are the majority, and the people who are in the geocentric cosmology. Would that be an okay terminology to talk about the flat Earth or anti-globe? Can I say geocentric cosmology? Would that be understandable?
Yeah, you can use that just loosely if you like, and we can agree that's what we're talking about. But geocentric meaning that the Earth's the centre. Again, I want to address maybe some of the hangovers that people have, and I get these questions a lot, particularly from flat earthers in regards to the motion aspect that I show with the Earth, and they ask questions like, well, how does the sun and the moon and the stars, why does the Earth not smash into them? Then again, people are carrying over a heliocentric cosmology where they think that the Earth and the heavens are something separate. Yeah. So when we say things like geocentric, that being that the Earth's the centre, people usually use that as being like there's the
weird,
Earth,
man.
And then there's
I always find myself agreeing with them.
The heavens, and the heavens are separate.
I think it's one system as well. I don't think they're separate. I think it's all one system. Now the question is, how big is it? How big what are the dimensions? And is it a solid structure over the top of it? Because it surely isn't just our continents that they say only exist. Remember, it's a flat plane, right? It's a level plane. Don't know the dimensions. That's the problem.
Around the Earth. What I would say is that the heavens and the Earth are one uniform system.
Yeah. That's
all connected. It's one pod, if you like. So I think it's okay to use it loosely, geocentric, but people should be aware that I think maybe when they're using that, they still have a hangover from the heliocentric model, that being that the Earth and the heavens and the apparent objects in the heavens are separated somehow. I think that's a total absurdity.
Okay, So for this discussion, I'm going to go with your definition that all things are connected, and then that way, because go ahead, sir.
No, I was just agreeing. Sorry.
No, I said you wanted to say something.
No, no. I was just agreeing. I was just
Okay,
saying.
yeah, I'm sorry. So like what I was saying is that just for this discussion, I will be using the geocentric and heliocentric models just for everybody else, so that Dell and I are in agreement about what we're talking about. That when I talk about the geocentric model, that I am going along with his definition that the Earth and the sun and the moon and the stars and the movements thereof are all connected with each other, while the
They are.
heliocentric model is the model that's been indoctrinated or taught to us
It is
by
connected.
the academia and
It's one
schools
system.
and the mainstream media. And so I just wanted to clarify that just for everybody else. So I hope that is all right with you.
Yeah, of course, no problem.
All right, let us continue with the discussion, because I think we're making good grounds here. And let me just do one thing real quick. There we go. So I mean, okay, I guess we don't really want to speculate too much about why they might be lying, and it probably has to do with power and control and fear and stuff like this. But their level of sophistication of that lie is quite complex and vast, I would say, because like if you really think about like the organizations that are involved, like NASA, SpaceX, China, Russia, or any other quote unquote governments who are part of this cover up. Last year, India themselves also went to the moon with their Chandrayaan. It's pretty massive, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, of course. Yep. It's very orchestrated, and I've asked myself these questions many, many times. Is this just the work of human beings and human beings alone? Again, for me, I'm going to talk from my position. I consider Earth, the universe, to be a machine, some sort of technology. And if whoever created or whatever created this has a hand in it directly, and I would go as far to say is that there's probably, just like any other factory machinery, there's other workers, there's other aspects, there's another hierarchy that operates and keeps the functioning of that machine. So I'm highly doubtful that it's just human beings acting alone.
Right. Yeah. So let us go down this. It's been 9 years. So how has your views about the geocentric cosmology evolved over that 9 years? What are your, what did you initially like kind of held on to, and then how did you polish it or refine your understanding about this cosmology? And yeah, let's talk about that a little bit.
Again, it goes back to the very beginning and understanding the sciences and what they actually mean, the subdivisions. People throw the word science about. And again, you could say, I'm very crude, but, picking your nose, there's a science to picking your nose. So we have to be very, very cautious when we use the word science. And as I say, for me, one of the most important factors was to establish.
It's like maths, isn't it? Maths is kind of ridiculous, isn't it? There's a mathematical equation out there. If I flap my wings a certain amount of times a second, like my arms, right? A certain amount of times a second, I can fly. But in reality, I can't do that. But there's a mathematical equation out there that says I can. That's maths for you.
What science is actually being purveyed to you? What are they actually talking about? Now, when you go to the heliocentric model, every single one of the heliocentric models' apparent proofs are visual based. They are based in vision and an interpretation of how we perceive things visually. There is nothing measurable about the heliocentric model, the globe Earth. There's no measure of curvature. There's no practical demonstrations of floating rocks within vacuums with atmosphere and water sticking to it. It's all done through language, not physics. although they convey and make the profession that it's physics, physics, physics. Well, astrophysics, theoretical physics, these are branches of the sciences which exist as concepts. They exist mathematically, not as real tangible things of the world. So the separation had to be made between mathematics and physics. That was one of the biggest things for me. And I still think it's relevant to this very day that people still don't fully grasp that. Because as I say, I listen to them arguing past each other about points that they have never agreed upon. They don't agree on first principles. They don't lay out the principles of a discussion and have an agreement upon these things. The globe earthers and flat earthers talk past each other because they don't comprehend and they don't lay out the distinction between these sciences.
So, if you were to have a discussion with, let's say, a professor of physics, and he or she is a heliocentric model, I don't know, where would you start with that conversation? Like, how would you go about doing that? Like, what is the best way to start establishing some commonalities with one another in order to be able to have these types of discussions with people with opposing points of views?
Well, this is the problem, isn't it? It's again, if some physics professor wants to have that discussion, then if they're portraying to me that they're a physicist, then a physicist to me deals with practical, real world, demonstrable matter. You know, it has.
You know, that's a great point, Chills. Guys, great point. The ice wall would look like an upturned edge from afar. Would.
To be agreed upon that anything we discuss must be shown in a practical fashion. So that's where it would start. That would be the first principles that I would have to have an agreement upon with a supposed physicist. And from there, as we continued on, it would become very apparent very, very quickly that what this apparent physicist was conveying was nothing to do with the physical world, but everything to do with a presupposed bias, that being you start from the assumption.
As above, so below powers. They're lying about how deep they can go, just the same way as they're lying about how high they can go into space, right? So-called space. Yeah, they're lying about both.
Earth's a globe, and then obviously you seek to interpret your observations to fit that presupposition. So it would be established very, very quickly, and it would be, the distinction would be there that what I'm talking about is practicality, real physics, and what this person would be talking about would be theoretical or interpretation physics.
Well done, Dan. Well done.
Okay.
That's what I like to hear, Dan. I'm still saying it's an upturn, upturn edge, it's massive crater / tree stump we could be living in. Haha, fuck it.
And I'm sure you have had your, I don't know, your share of these discussions, and you have seen and observed these discussions, on various debate channels with different content creators. And, like, I don't feel that they are resolving anything myself. Sometimes, I just kind of feel like everybody.
Oh, sorry. Took a deep puff on the vape.
Feels as if that they have won the argument on both sides. If people were already geocentrist and they're like, okay, we are correct, and then people who are heliocentrists, then they also feel that they're correct. So nobody is really changing their minds anytime soon. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that's true or accurate?
Yeah, it's very accurate. It's exactly what I've been conveying here. Because a debate is not about a rational discussion between physicists. That being people like you and I. If you and I enter into a debate, then we're trying to convince each other of an idea or a concept, and we're trying to convince an audience that our concept or our idea is correct. Objective reality is not going to change whether you win a debate or whether I win a debate. It is what it is. This is why I keep saying the distinction has to be made between what we're actually discussing. Debates happen between flat earthers and globe earthers because predominantly they're arguing about optics, they're arguing about horizons, how things appear visually. And again, I'm going to make the statement again, you're arguing about how we perceive the world visually. There's a separate and different geometry to vision than what the actual world is. So anybody that's going to bring forth some proof or apparent proof that's only an optical phenomena, then their argumentation is centered around optics and the geometry of vision, not the geometry of the world. So these debates will perpetually go round and round in circles for eternity because they're not establishing anything objective.
Yeah, yeah. I would say that's probably going to be the case, and I think again, when you break it down to those people who are deliberately lying and those people who are following the lie and believing that to be the truth, so they are less at fault and they're maybe on a little bit on the ignorant side of what's going on. But like the main position or point that we as people who are questioning what this reality really is about is trying to find the common ground, and that's what I'm trying to achieve with within the flat earth community as well, because there is division within the flat earth community, and quite a bit, as we talked about earlier. People who believe the Mercator map is correct, except it's flat, and then there could be gates where these sun and the moon, and I'm not claiming that they are correct or wrong. I'm just saying that there are differences within the flat earth community about what that cosmology actually is, so coming to some agreement within the community would be a great thing for the movement. Wouldn't you agree? Like finding some commonality?
Yeah, well, if you go back and look at the very first videos I made, the commonality is stop adopting false models. We are under no obligation to adopt any model at all. We were all born into the situation of being in a cult, a culture, which is where the word's taken from, and that's what was portrayed to us. That's where the common ground has to be, but there's so much muddying of the waters with these conceptual models and people arguing over concepts that we cannot establish, good grounds. The good grounds that people have to establish is that we're talking about objective reality, and any man that makes a claim must be able to demonstrate their claim in a practical fashion. That's the equalizer. That's the common ground. That's where we discover who's telling the truth and who's not. So, there's various other aspects also, and I'll give you an example. You listen to flat earthers and globe earthers. Globe earthers and flat earthers say level. Globe earthers say level. So the globe earth has a different definition because they're utilizing mathematics. Now, unless a flat earther fully understands that, they have no way to convey that to a globe earther. If I speak to a globe earther and they start telling me that level is a curve, which is, equal distance from the center of a circle to the outer circumference of a circle, that's my definition of level. Then we have to say, well, my definition comes from the practical real world. What do we utilize in reality as level? What does it mean to us in a practical fashion? Because that's the axiom. That's where we get the definition from. So that's just one little example. But just to get back again quickly, because I think I went off it. The common ground is that we were all born into the same situation. We're all asking the questions, and we must refrain from trying.
Hey, Zach, how you doing, dude? Hope you're good. Appreciate you coming in, dude. Cool.
Cannot go through a practical, physical steps in order to establish what is what. Then what are we actually discussing?
Wow. LA Latu.
Yeah, apologize. I
B11.
was typing
Welcome.
something in the chat, but this is what I feel that we should try to do, because already we are a little bit outnumbered, because I think we can probably agree that the heliocentrists in the world versus the geocentrists in the world, the heliocentrists probably vastly outnumber the geocentrists. And in your opinion, over the 9 or 10 years that you've been let's say a geocentrist, what is your opinion about how many people within the, I don't know, within the world, do you think are aware of the geocentric model? Like, have you come to any figures about that? Any understanding about like what percentage that might be?
Well, I think what's more relevant, again back to what you just said a little second ago there about,
Yeah.
we are outnumbered by heliocentrists. Well, as again, in my experience, you could say we are outnumbered by people who are incredulous, which means they may say, I believe a globe earth, blah, 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 but it's purely a belief. They have no actual comprehension of what they believe in. So to me, I would suggest that they are pretty irrelevant, because look at the amount of supposed globe earthers on YouTube. There's not really that many, because there's not really that many people out there that actually comprehend the heliocentric model. And the reason they don't is because there is nothing about the heliocentric model that's within their direct experience. At school, they were never taught any great details about the heliocentric model, how they established it, how it came to be. It was never conveyed to human beings, the intricate workings and the details of it. It was just shown to them. Little things were repeated to them. Mantras were there, images were shown, a little plastic globe on the desk in the classroom, and that's as far as the knowledge goes. So to say that we are outnumbered, then I would only be concerned with being outnumbered by those who fully comprehend the model, and opposed to those flat earthers that actually fully comprehend the model also, because that's where the relevance is. How do I have a full-blown discussion? And you can witness this on my channel. How can I have a full-blown, intricate discussion, again, with supposed higher educated students, when these people don't even know why they believe what they believe? It's very, very difficult to get an actual progressive discussion with these people. You have to take them through baby steps and lay things out in a very simplistic fashion. So I don't think we're outnumbered by people who really comprehend the model.
Yeah, I understand your point, because you're saying that, well, truth is more potent, and the people who are claiming or cling on to the false narrative, they don't have a leg to stand on at the end of the day, and they don't even know what the hell they're talking about. They're just clinging on to their heliocentric model because that's where the mob rule is. So, there's no real quote unquote opposition there, is what I'm kind of hearing. But the problem is, maybe people use this term a little too often. There's this idea of cognitive dissonance, right? And do you feel that is what's kind of happening with a lot of these people, that when they are talking about something that they don't even know what they are actually believing, are they experiencing this cognitive dissonance?
Well, they would have to actually comprehend it first, and then for me to contradict that comprehension, then you may see cognitive dissonance, that being the intellectual dishonesty of the person trying to utilize their ego in order to evade the concession. And that's another massive aspect with this. As I tried to demonstrate with the street interviews, my attitude's never to convince anybody or convert anybody. That should never be your attitude. My attitude is to simply ask questions and then walk people through their own reasoning processes, because that way it gives them an opportunity to reflect, to realise that they don't really actually know what they're talking about. Now, so many times in these street interviews, I can see that, and I can see cognitive dissonance, but these people will never stand in front of me and concede, because they have an ego, they have pride. They may go away, and that may fester in them, and they may come to the realisation off their own back, which is far more potent than me trying to tell them something. Yeah. So my approach to speaking with people is never to tell them anything, it's just to ask them questions of their own reasoning.
The power of suggestion. That's what I do. I don't even, if I talk to some people, I don't even mention flat Earth. I just point out the flaws in the helio model. That's all I do. Plant a few seeds, and then they call you back a few days later wanting explanations.
That way they get to self-reflect. They don't feel as if they're being targeted. They don't feel as if they're being attacked in any way, shape or form.
Neuro-linguistic programming.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. All the newsreaders use it. Politicians use it. Way of like hypnotizing you with words and their hand signs.
that's very fair. Like,
while they're talking to you.
you know, trying to convince people of the thing that that is in direct opposition to that something that they already believe in may not be the best way to go about it. You know, so ask questions about like why anyone believes whatever that they believe, and then try to point out some of the logical fallacies that might exist. You know, and then maybe do it in a fashion that can be understood by everyone. And you know, cross your fingers and hope for the best, I guess, from that point on, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a form of
Darren
manipulation, you know, using the Socratic method
Is it
and
Darren?
a questioning approach. But the difference is
I don't even know his
that
name,
you're
Scott.
trying to bring people into a more honest position. I am not utilizing manipulative tactics in order to,
Psychology.
you know, bewilder and weaken people so that I can utilize them to my own ends. It's totally different. It's a form of manipulation, but for me, it's an empowering form of manipulation. If you ask
Absolutely,
people
Scotty, I've
questions,
got you.
it lets the people walk themselves to the realization, you know, rather than just trying to dictate and tell them things.
Okay, let's kind of switch gears a little bit, and let me start asking you some questions in regards to, you know, you've been a part of a lot of discussions and debates, and I think if I were to just be upfront about it, again, you.
Anyone, what was that? Gills? Anyone seen the horses freaking out because of a rainbow on the ground? No, I haven't seen that. Have you got video of that, Gills? Post it in the chat. We'll take a look.
Have with you, Del, in your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, the contention with a lot of these flat earthers, and just to address it quickly, a lot of these flat earthers have known me for a long time. They've probably learned some stuff, and I've always based myself on practicality. If I cannot walk people through a practical process in order to establish things, then it's useless to me. Nothing has changed. The problem comes that a lot of these flat earthers are coming from a bias. A lot of them come from a religious bias. So many of them have been affected by propaganda, that being that certain power groups or certain characters within the flat earth community or movement.
Yes, exactly, Powers. We used to bring that point up years ago. You know, a tiny little round earth, 9 miles in circumference. Come on. That's if it starts curving at 3 miles. It's ridiculous.
Certain things that are acceptable and certain things that are not acceptable. And that's had an influence on people. So when somebody like me comes along and suggests a motion vector to the earth, all of a sudden people have an adverse, emotionally impulsive reaction. They then start to view me as some sort of figure of hate or some sort of object that is opposed to these people. And again, I am not opposed to anybody. The only thing that matters to me is what the actual truth is. So I cannot be responsible. Right. Sorry. Yep.
No, I'm saying correct. I'm just agreeing with you. Continue, sir.
So I'm not responsible for these people's emotional reactions. I can remain logical. I can remain rational.
Tell you what this is. Freaked out by a rainbow. Oh my god! I thought you meant a rainbow. I thought you meant horses out in the wild of like some pasture or in a field, or you know, and there's a big rainbow coming down hitting the ground and they're all freaking out in the. I thought that's what you meant, not an LGBTQ rainbow flag. Oh no. You got me, Chills. Good one.
Mounted police force. Oh, I don't like the colour.
Yeah.
I don't like the colour. Oh, brilliant, brilliant.
They Even the horses are suspicious. Even the horses are like, hang on, there's something going on here. What are all these strange colours? These weird people about. Oh, but that is kind of strange though, isn't it? It's kind of strange. Why would they act like that? Why would they act like that?
A mounted police force.
That is strange.
Oh, I don't like the colour.
They might be thinking it's water or something. Might think it's like deep water.
Don't like the colour. Oh, brilliant, brilliant.
It is funny. Even the horses don't trust it. Even the horses. Get me out of here. Oh, hilarious. That is absolute.
And I can walk people through step by step every aspect of my reasoning. Now, when you put the shoe in the other foot and you try and walk through these people's claims and their reasonings, they come up short and they resort to all sorts of other methods of attacking my character or utilising language and trying to convey their position through sophistry or barefaced telling lies or just have a miscomprehension of the position they actually hold. So they view me as controversial because the reality is that they are experiencing cognitive dissonance. Now, many flat earthers have utilised that terminology a lot through the last few years. Now, my experience is, particularly in the last 2 years, I have seen a massive cognitive dissonance.
Now you people that go to all these riots and things like, you know what to paint on the floor. When the horses just put a rainbow on the floor.
From flat earthers. Because they just have an emotional aversion to what's being shown to them. And no logical or rational or practical response has ever been offered.
Stop.
So, you know, if I'm controversial, then people have to look at themselves because I have remained the same from day one. Nothing has changed about my position. The methodology that I've utilised has always been the same. Everything has to be shown in a practical fashion and understood through the practical so that lying.
Yeah, Dell's not lying. That's one thing about Dell. He's not a liar. You can tell that. That for sure, and he hasn't changed. Dell, he's always been the same way. Always been the same. No change.
Language is not relevant. People are not being swayed by my sophist abilities, my ability to convince people through rhetoric. That's never been my goal. So I think that's as far as I can take that.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess like really what it comes down to is that if there are disagreements between two individuals who have differing perspectives and both individuals feels that they both are logical or reasonable and they have evidence to back up their claims.
This before we go, so we ain't got long.
Okay.
How to use a doodle as...
Yeah, we are. Check your email.
You've got the email.
Got. Got to be quicker than that, dude.
10-7-07 then. 8 in module 3.
Come on then. Oh, and by the way, Bruce liked the idea of the award system in the meeting.
Chris. Come on.
Come where now?
The question is, why doesn't it just walk over the top of it like that? Might be really toxic to it, like just touching it. Oh, let's just walking over it now. It's kind of
What would be the next best thing for to find some resolution between this kind of, because like obviously there's a disagreement. Obviously there is some different ways in which people are seeing
Yeah,
it,
I
right?
think it's
So
something to do with the ink.
maybe the better way
I think it's something to do with the ink. Yeah, that's what I think.
to go about it is for you to explain your position about the motion vector in the geocentric model. Can you elaborate a little bit more on what that means?
Well, we have a vector. We as human beings have an orientation.
Yeah, it's wet as well. Yeah.
You know, that's the
Yeah, that's a good
subjective
point, actually,
part. As each individual has their subjective orientation, but orientation can only be established by a vector. So something has to be moving in a particular direction in order for you to establish a vector. Now the points that come, and this again comes from the heliocentric model, and now, you know, as we go through this, you will see a mirroring of the flat Earth models, particularly the stationary one, where both models require a downward vector. That being that there's something active.
Last 14 minutes, guys. We're gonna watch 14 minutes of this. That takes us halfway. Then we watch the other half next time.
Towards the Earth, because whether you're on a globe Earth or a stationary Earth, if I simply pick up an object and I let that object go, the claim comes that that object has moved from the position I held it at towards the Earth. So the object moves through three-dimensional space to another position, that being on the Earth. That's the claim of a vector. If something is claimed to be moving in a particular direction, there's a claim of a vector there, where there must be a cause, and it must be demonstrated and it must be detected.
Okay. So like when you say that each one has like a subjective orientation, it just means that, you know, we each are experiencing our own reality, and that my orientation as an individual is based on my senses, I would say, right? Like, you know, the five senses that are given to me to utilize, you know, like, you know, the space and time and stuff that's around me, correct?
Well, just before we get to that, you know, I'm just looking at the chat. You know, there's again, this is the problem that we have. Goes back to what I was saying earlier about people not comprehending their own position. So we've got somebody in the chat that says downward vector is not required. Right? Look, it's a default position that you have a vector on a stationary Earth, because you have to claim that things are all moving towards the Earth when you drop them. If something's not connected to the Earth, if something falls off a cliff, or, you know, a plane comes out of the sky, then the position of that model is that the things fall towards the Earth. So these people again deny that there's a vector required, when at the same time they're claiming a vector. You know, it's really bizarre. This is the type of thing I'm talking about. Getting back to your orientation thing again, then, you know, we have an orientation. You know, and that's a fact. And you know, if I put you into free fall and blindfolded you, would you have an orientation?
You're welcome, world.
I mean, not specifically, unless I kind of knew where I was sitting, and if I was just sitting here in my room and you blindfolded me, I would have some idea of where I am. But can you explain a little bit more what you mean?
Well, say you were blindfolded and you jumped out of an aircraft. Would you have an?
Hey, world, without curve. Who won, K. Dot or Drake?
Orientation.
I thought Kendrick won. To be honest.
No, probably not. I have never done that, so I cannot. I can only imagine what that would be like. So, but I'm going to just say no. I would not know what my orientation is, other than the fact that if, you know, you told me that we are over California and then jump out of the plane, but we're going to completely blindfold you, I would have no idea, other than the fact that I might be over California. But that's just based on somebody's word, though, too.
Yeah, you know, if you utilize like a thought experiment, if I take the world away and it's just
you know it,
what dictates up, down, left, right for you?
Yeah, that's what I thought, man.
Can you repeat that? I'm not sure if I heard you correctly. Can you repeat that once more?
If we entertain a thought premise and I say to you, right, okay, if I remove the world right now and the only thing that exists is you How do you pronounce your name? Sorry.
Notch is fine.
Natch.
Notch.
So if we use a thought experiment and I remove the world right now and only you exist, so only you in three-dimensional space exists, what's going to dictate an orientation for you? How are you going to establish what's up, down, left, right?
I wouldn't be able to, I don't think.
Exactly.
I cannot come up with any rational way to be able to do that. No.
No, because you need another factor. You need some other factor to denote to you what directionality is. Correct?
Right. Yes.
So if you're
Would agree. Yeah.
if you're now in three-dimensional space, and I come along and I say I'm flying at a particular speed through three-dimensional space at 100 miles per hour, and I now push onto you,
Nicely put,
pushing you at
Slow.
100
Nicely
miles
put.
per hour, then you now have an orientation, because down to you is going to be where the force is coming from, that being me pushing against you, and up is going to be the opposite direction of that force.
Mm-hmm. I'm following you. Yes.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So, I mean, I'm being tentative here because I don't know how you want to lay this out. I don't want to just jump from one thing to another. So that's, you know, when we go to the physics, the practical things that we've been shown, myself, Andrew, William, you know, a couple of other people, then that's what we witness when things are in free fall. If things are not connected to the earth, things do not have an orientation. There is no pressure, there is no buoyancy, there is no density. There's nothing until, again, it's connected to the earth.
Now, I'm going to say this again. That in itself, that's fucking weird. Right, it is. I said it right at the start. All this, Del first showed this. I said that right there is where it's at. Right there. Buoyancy.
Yeah. Well, look, I just want to say one thing. I just don't really recommend paying too much attention to the chat, just because people are going to have all kinds of opinions. So, but you are, of course, welcome to respond to anything that you feel necessary. But mainly it's about you and myself in this discussion. And I am here to learn from you about your perspective. So just, you know, keep that in mind.
No, of course, you know, I'm used to that with the chat boxes. It was just that one appeared there, and I thought it was relevant. But I mean, if people want to have questions once we finish this discussion, then by all means, I'm here to answer those questions. So, no, fair enough.
Okay. We've been speaking for about an hour. I'm gonna need to take a little bit of a break if you don't mind. So I'm just gonna put a song on, and then let's get back into the discussion about this downward vector or motion vector, because I feel like I need to get to know this concept a little bit better myself, if you don't mind.
No worries. I'm going to nick to the toilet quick as well. That's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Everybody stick around. We're going to take a little bit of a break, and then we're going to get back into this discussion. So hang out with us, everybody. It's going to get good from here. It has already been good. So, okay. See you guys.
So this is the other side. So yeah, we're starting from here next on Saturday, right? Let's just get it lined up.
Might have. I think we need to try to nail this down as much as we possibly can. And
right there. What's the time? Damn. I can't believe it goes so quick. I can't believe it's that time. Hey, what's up, Jimmy? I'm just about to close it down, dude. Little Wing dozed off. Dory and Rich Sea Banner, they'll put everyone to sleep. I'm still awake. I've been vaping. Man. I've been vaping heavy. Hey, it's cool, Jimmy. Logical's like Earth isn't moving up. Let's get real, everyone. Let's get real. Logical's not having none of it.
I thought love was only true in fairy tales.
Logical ain't having none of it.
Else, but not for me.
I have no confidence.
Love was out to get me. That's the way it seemed. Disappointment
might be moving up, but cannot be proven by using.
Then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer. Not a trace of doubt in my mind. I'm in love. I'm a believer. I couldn't leave her if I tried. I thought love was more or less a given thing. Seems the more I gave, the less I got.
Jesús, hay que hacer ahora con los dos sacos de arroz. ¡Ay, llama para Sevilla! ¡Llama a Sevilla que traigo ¡Ay, Jesús, yo con el bañador!
Did you know that government literally means mind control? They don't want you to find the road to find your soul. They knew you won't out if you knew you lived inside a dome. This is the reason why Copernicus designed the globe. It's mental imprisonment. Been 500 years and there still isn't any experiments to prove that his theory's legitimate. Flat Earth, they don't want you to research or consider it. If you do the research, they say that you're inconsiderate of the work that these astronomers contributed, but no facts. So I don't give a shit about a bit of it. I'm doing this for the world's benefit. Some won't get the message, they gon' read me wrong. They're illiterate, some can't read between the lines.
Thank you, Happy. Thank you, Happy. I'm just reading them through.
I'ma feed their feeble minds, I'ma break them from the shackles.
Thanks for coming in, dude. Yeah, listen, a big shout out to everyone that come in today. Massive shout out to everyone. It's nothing without you guys, so nice one, people.
And swine, that's better food for thought. Speak with me and dine, no cheddar do.
Oh, let's have a look at the let's quickly have a look at the do you trust Dave McKeegan and the pastor? 94% said no, but you had a couple of idiots that come in, obviously fight the flat earth. Maybe Dave McKeegan himself and the pastor come in and said yes. Something's going on, right?
Game I'm giving is free as a mason. What's amazing, they was an astronaut gear up at the space station, faking, taking pictures, smiling faces. It's bad that some believe in space exploration. One made a mistake and rock this Masonic ring. You haven't seen, you gotta Google, you gotta Bing. Just type it in and bada boom and bada bing. I stand by these bars like I'm standing right by the Bing. The earth's flat, from Kenny you heard that. This ain't a theory, I get it from research facts. If Earth spins and so does the moon, we should see different sides of the moon, but we never observed that. If 71% of the world is water and water is always level, show me where it curves at. Sir, black.
Shoes, very
Fucking
bars.
Earth's flat.
Can he live? Tuesday bars.
happening there?
Curl, shape,
Ugh.
and hide flyaways. Drying is fast and easy with air multiplier technology.
How did it get past my
Touch
head?
up or transform with cordless versatility.
How did it do that?
We don't need no stinking badges.
Just a little seed makes a big tree, standing on its own, thriving all alone. Just a little seed makes a big tree, grows so high, gonna touch the sky. Just a little seed makes a big tree, spreads roots deep, branches far and wide. Masonic lockdown in your hometown, Masonic lockdown. Can you hear me now? From the top down, soul shock down, state shakedown, mass breakdown, global orders, riding over borders. Get behind your doors for the new world order.
Holy smokes, we had 50 people in. When did we have 50? Did we have 50 people in?
Dr. Evil with a mass
Holy smokes, guys, we had 50 people come. That's the most, I think. Anyway, yeah, massive shout out to everyone that come in today. Do appreciate it, guys.
to have complete control, the land, the sky, your soul. Peace like silence in the snow. You're free to do exactly
No, I think when I first opened up, I remember when I one of the first times I opened up, but that was from Ponchos though. I think we had about 6 coming in once. But I like it like this, around this sort of level. I don't want it to get too out of control, guys. Do worry about that. Cheers, world. Appreciate you coming in, dude. Walter, Shalom, Powers, Mr. Jones, Scotty, Chills, Logical, Martin. Here's Martin. Me. Bit late though. Suits. I'm the. And anyone else. I can't. Jax. Cheers, Jax.
from space by satellites.
No, that's no problem, Jax. No problem.
The scientist and mediatrix trying to tell me 2 and 2 is 5.
Hey, adios, adios, Powers. Adios.
The strategy of tension, mass manipulation, psychological operation.
Told you earlier the cottage was rocking. Alert. Define cottage, Happy. Define cottage.
Look into my eyes. Just a little seed makes a big tree, standing on its own, thriving all alone. Just a little seed makes a big tree, grows so high, gonna touch the sky. Just a little seed makes a big tree, spreads roots deep, branches far and wide. Masonic lockdown in your hometown. Masonic lockdown, can you feel me now? Masonic lockdown, soul shockdown, state shakedown, a mass breakdown. Put your muzzle on, get back in your basket, get behind your doors, cause living here is drastic. Dr. Evil and his needle, Dr. Evil with a master plan, a false vaccine, like a bad.
Can't gauge how bloody high you get, mate. Just keep vaping and vaping, and the next minute you're out your fucking head.
To have complete control, the land, the sky, your soul. Na 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 na, na 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 na, na 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 na, na 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 na, na 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 na.
We're taking things that are, genetically modified organisms and we're injecting them into little kids' arms. We just shoot them right into the vein. But you don't have a choice. People act like you have a choice.
25 years I've been on the force. I've seen every kind of sick, depraved act known to humanity, and still, when I see a black man walk by who has more money than me, I want to vomit my gizzards right into the gutter. But why?
Thinking of using this as the intro and the outro, world.
Ball out there that's mostly covered with water and.
But I've got used to the other intro, so I'll just leave it.
Oh, this is Bo jingling balls in your mouth all day, every day. Hey, you tuned in to Fuck What You Heard Radio, where you can stick a dick in your ear and shut the fuck up, bitch. But anyway, we got your new K-Dot record. I know you in traffic. Where you at, baby?
Down Rosecrans, 87 Regal, sipping on a gold can, gun tucked like the fetal position. Top dog coalition, coexisting with the codest, whoever quoted from California district. Been a corner like David Banner, I'm the owner of the marijuana aroma. You smelling, hit a donut, yelling, it's me, bitches. Who did it? I did it. Take them where they can't go. Like Planet Venus, leaning like a mad scientist. Laboratory bottles of empty Heineken, telling stories about the ones that came before me. Chinaman squinting his eye because I'm blinded. Him, my shine is bigger than a strike of lightning. And they like it him because I like to win, never lose. Put me on a pedestal, bet I pedal victories until I pedal off my shoes. Welcome to the Lion's Room. Challenge anybody who wanna try they luck to get fucked up, and all you heard was ooh. Say hello to the little big homie, and your reality ain't realer than this, homie.
Awesome, man. Righty. Right, guys. Sorted. Right, guys. I will see. Have a great day. I will see you in a couple of days, Saturday. Till then, take care.